Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girlz is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae Girlz out there. They ain't believe in us. John did. Reggae Girlz, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there. World Cup. Sadella Marley, number love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I'm represent for the Reggae Girlz. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sidela, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae Girlz do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica supporting it every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best. Stu Davis, take it away.
My Talawers, how are you? All good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit too close for comfort with my screen, so let me just go back just a little bit. I feel like my face was a little bit too close there. I do apologize. Let me know how you guys are doing down in the comment section. As ever, if you are making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because making it through those doors of yours is a underrated blessing. My last live stream, when was that? It was about roughly Wednesday, because my time now, I'm into my Friday. So it's actually November the 1st for me. It is still the 31st of October for the bulk of you guys. In case you haven't figured it out by now, I time my live stream to work around you guys and your schedule. So I usually go around, but say between 5 and 6 p.m. most days, where Jamaica is concerned. Now it's kind of changed. Tell a lie, it's actually should be around 8 o'clock Jamaica time now, because I'm just still trying to work out what time works best for you guys. And that may change maybe as the days and weeks come. I might go back to doing things a little bit different so that I'm not feeling the knock-on effects when I close off and try to wake up the following morning. But leave that with me. I'll try and make it all make sense so that it works out for both of us. All right. And my last live stream, as I said, that was possibly Wednesday. I think that was that Wednesday night. We spoke about like Ballon d'Or and mainly about the disrespect, the visible disrespect there as it relates to women footballers, and you know the fact that they're clearly unequal. Definitely isn't a level playing field when it comes to the Ballon d'Or as an outsider looking on. And of course, much of that focus there, topic of conversation, we touched on Rodri and Vinny, and also our compatriot, our very own Miss Khadija Bunny Shaw. And I'm saying that to say I did enjoy my calling show. So I've made tonight again another calling show. So if at any point you guys feel like jumping onto the live stream, please, you are more than welcome to do so. My only wish is for you guys to keep it respectful. So just be respectful to myself, the guys in the comment section, and also for the players as well. If you manage to be, if you want to talk about any player, you're more than welcome to do so, so long as you just keep it respectful. All right. See what you guys are saying in the comment section. Duckland Stennett, big up yourself. The closer of the three. Thank you. At least someone's making me laugh. I felt a little bit anxious doing tonight's live stream. I'm not really sure why, but some anxiety creeped up on me, and I had to get the breathing exercises going. Coincidentally, we're going to be talking about that. As ever, I know I talk about mental well-being or well-being a lot on my program, and tonight we're going to be looking at that again. Someone actually dropped a comment in my comment section, and I'll see if I can bring that comment up on my screen. I don't think you guys will be able to see it, but it's pretty much positioned me for tonight's live stream. It does say here, it is critical that you point out that the match against France shows that we need a psychologist for the team. They are not better than us, and by 3 goals, just look how they outclassed in their last game. It does say here, self-belief and execution by Kayla McKenna should have resulted in goals for us. And it does say they're talking about a positional, maybe a altercation there as it relates to Chantal Swaby or Lucas Swaby, saying that possibly put her in midfield. Not sure how you guys make of potentially putting Chantal Swaby in midfield, but it did dawn on me that whilst I have scratched the surface there as it relates to mental well-being, mental health, and so on, and also the need for the Reggae Girls to get themselves a sports psychologist. Also dawned on me that we didn't touch on that on the Wednesday night's live stream, so I figured why not focus on that on tonight's live stream. Okay, so there is your context. Try to give you guys context wherever I can. I'll try to be good company. Please do, and more importantly, guys, do go ahead and kindly hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, do make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Right, I kind of need to figure out where to start tonight's show. Sometimes I leave it till the very last minute as I start the live stream. Soon after I start the live stream, I kind of figure out where to go. You're probably thinking, why not just figure that out beforehand? That's a good show, but sometimes I get a little bit excited with my topic of conversation, and tonight is no different. I'll go ahead and leave my headline there on the screen, and it does say the missing piece, and that is a question for you guys. As I go along in my live stream, let me know what you guys make of what's been discussed, what's been said, and if you feel that I've missed out on something, then feel free to kindly redirect me. I do not mind. I'm trying to see if I can wrap this all up in under an hour. If I don't manage to do so, then I'm sure it will be worth your while. All right, so tonight's live stream, as I said, we're going to be looking at a few of different layers of conversation, namely about the sport psychologist. Right, we're going to be looking at sports psychologists and whether we need to recall our sports psychologist. But before I get into all of that, I guess we should just jump right into the pending game there against South Africa. So I might have to just stick a pin in it and jump over to my shared screen there for you guys. You're going to head over to Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I mean, you guys are probably calling it X by now, but I still do refer to it as Twitter. So my apologies. You guys should be able to see my screen. Go ahead there, see how far I can go. Should we need to go any further? Okay, so this was what, some 6+ hours ago. It says here 30 days. For me, it's now 29 days because I am already into November 1st. I did think this was the humor from the Jamaica Football Federation. They're forever being little funny bunnies, aren't they? It's nice to see that after all the topic of conversation centered around Alison Swaby, and I won't backtrack on what's been said. You probably just have to go back and watch the previous live streams there, where like myself and a couple of the guys there in the comment section did question whether Alison Swaby or Big Swaby is still one of the captains there as it relates to the senior women's national team of Jamaica, the Reggae Girlz. Before the game against France, we've seen, well, to my knowledge, she was the vice captain. So with the omission of Khadija Bunny Shaw, for what it's worth, or for what we know, is the captain. I still kind of feel like there's a massive question mark there. Part of me is feeling like they've changed captain's armband and they're just being quite sneaky about it. So anyways, brushing that to one side, again with the omission of Khadija Banisha, one would have assumed that the captain's armband would have been placed on the arms of the lady in front of you, that is Alison Swaby. But the JFF always have different things up their sleeves, right? There's always something going on in the background. That's not to say again that I mind not Alison, Vian Sampson wearing the captain's armband. I don't actually mind. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really care which reggae girl wears the captain's. I say that quite mildly. To an extent, I do mind. In terms of the trailblazers and the girls who have been there in the trenches, yeah, I don't mind any of them wearing the captain's armband. If it's going to be a case of you call someone new to the team and then give them the captain's armband, I think I might have questions of my own. But anyway, so we had a lengthy conversation there around Alison Swaby, and whether or not she's been punished internally, and has she been stripped of the captain's armband. Personally, I feel like she has been, because if not, she would have won the captain's armband against France. But again, that's a conversation that we discussed for a maybe over an hour. I can't quite remember, but I just found it quite funny after all that was said on that live stream between myself and you guys there in the comment section, that Alison is actually on the cover for this poster here, promotional poster leading up to the game against South Africa. I just kind of thought it's just JFF being a little bit funny as per usual. The first thing that I saw though, and thankfully they've gone ahead and corrected themselves, was that clearly they're promoting the game, first of two games there against South Africa. First match taking place on Friday, November the 29th. I didn't notice a venue on this particular post, but thankfully maybe someone actually gave them a little clip around the ear and told them that they kind of made a meal of themselves, because they pretty much corrected what seemed like it was a mistake. Maybe they were still waiting on confirmation. You never really know with the federation. But there you have it in terms of those two friendlies there. Again, for clarity, first of the two friendly, the first one takes place on Friday the 29th of November, and the second match there will take place on December 2nd. And in terms of venue, we, as I said, as we anticipated some well over a month ago now, when the press release was announced in terms of us playing 3 then upcoming matches. We've already played against France, so that one's now been put to bed. It was anticipated that the girls will not be playing at the National Stadium and instead would be playing in Montego Bay in Catherine Hall. So those of you in Jamaica, if you are able to get to Mobe, then please, go ahead and support the girls. These two matches there, these two pending matches against South Africa, that's our final fixtures there for the calendar year of 2024. So you can go ahead and give the girls your support if you can. If it is safe for you to get to Montego Bay and back, then why not go ahead and show up in your numbers again. Those are the final games there to close off on 2024. Hopefully the girls sign off with a bang. Let me stick a pin in it and see if you guys saying okay, let me touch on a couple of the comments here before I get going. Delano Blake, pick up yourself, Delano. He says Drew Spence is our only true attacking midfielder who can play through the middle. Need more players that can play in the middle. Absolutely, I agree with you. Definitely, DJ Kidder. This is why I laugh, because I was thinking about who the hell does the Jamaican Football Federation think they're fooling? After all that little clownery that they did with not explaining to us why Alison wasn't wearing the captain's armband. Surprise, surprise. She's done in the poster for a promotional game. Like, you lot play silly little games all the time, and for some reason you guys seem to think that we were born big. Like, I don't know about the guys in the comment section, but I weren't born big, I can tell you that much. So I saw it and I laughed, because Hey, one thing about the Jamaica Football Federation, they're gonna make you laugh. Whether it's a good laughter or a bad laugh, they're gonna tickle you. I can tell you that. And DJ Kid 404 says, "Ain't no coincidence they posted that." Look, I think we're all on the same lines here. It's no coincidence in them posting Allison. So I would have liked to see them post some information on who the captain is. You know, we've got a new head coach, Busby, Mr. Busby. There, I think you got away in the announcement, the squad announcement in that press conference. You got away, and you know you got away. You wasn't as transparent as you should have been. I think we all know that, but that's a conversation for another day. I would like to hear from the horse's mouth who the Reggae Girls captain and vice captains are. Like, I want to know these things. These things are important. Hopefully, we have some clarity in and around the time of these two friendlies there on the screen in front of you. Right? I think I might just keep that there. Add to the promotion that's being led by the Jamaica Football Federation. DJ Kid, they watching you. I don't know. Perhaps not. But I just thought that it was just funny. I don't think it's a coincidence. I can't say if they've been watching my live stream, but I just don't think it's a coincidence. Um, Delana says, watch that South Africa versus England game. They gave England, yeah. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I also love when England played against Haiti. Yeah, I think Haiti just showed them that, hey, look, we're here. We're not to be underestimated. There's something with England. I definitely think at the World Cup they 100% underestimated Haiti, and Haiti, like I said, almost clipped their wings. But for thankfully for England's sake, that wasn't the case. But you know, we're from the Caribbean, so naturally we want Haiti to win, right? Blair, video. Good evening to yourself, sir. Blair, who was the captain for the France match? The captain was Miss Vianne Sampson. But as I said, that's besides the point. It doesn't really matter who the captain was. It was just odd that the captain's armband wasn't resting on the arm of Alison Swaby. But yeah, JFF, I think for what it's worth, definitely up to their little trickery here and there. At least they're having fun, you know. Long may it continue for them. So before I get started, I'm gonna sound a bit like an echo, but I don't mind sounding like an echo because I am going to reiterate what I've said on previous live stream, and it is to do more so with respect more than anything else. It's to do with respect. As I said, I can't tell or have any influence over what Coach Busby does with his team in terms of player call-ups and so on. Do people close to him have influence? I believe so. I do feel that there are people there in his ears, and maybe yes, influencing him and encourage him to call up certain players. That's just my personal belief, right? But as it relates to respect, I am going to double down on what I've said on previous live streams, and that is that, you know, it goes without saying, respecting our trailblazers is a must. And one of the trailblazer that my heart does go out to her because I feel like she's been disrespected. And it's not just her, really. There's a host of girls who have been outwardly disrespected. Again, I don't have no say in player call-ups, and I'm not trying to sway no one's opinion or turn anyone's heads. I'm just a massive fan of treating people how they deserve to be treated, right? Especially for me to not speak about what's on my mind now, taking into consideration the topic of tonight's conversation, I think it would be silly not to, right? So I'm not just mentioning it for conversation's sake. And of course, I am speaking about Miss Chinelu Asha. As I've said on previous live stream, I'm definitely not a fan of how she's been treated. And, you know, it's quite similar to the treatment of past reggae girls from, let's say, the first successful World Cup cycle. Chinelu Asher is not a player that needs to be introduced. I'm not going to bother reintroducing her because if you don't know Chinelu Asher, I don't know, maybe you live under a rock. But if you've been following my channel, you don't need to follow my channel. If you know about the Reggae Girls and you've been there from day one, you must know the name Chinelu Asher. Scratching the surface, probably not going to give her the praise that she deserves. I'm not sure if I can manage that mantle, but she's definitely a trailblazer. She's a veteran. And I think, you know, for what it's worth in terms of the players there from the diaspora and the negative connotation around players from the diaspora, oddly enough, as it relates to their male counterparts, so the reggae boys way back from 1998, there's always been that negativity, that stigma around recruiting players from the diaspora. And I'm not going to tap into that because that's a whole can of worms that I don't really have time to discuss on tonight's live stream, perhaps on another one, but not on tonight's stream. But saying that to say, a player like Chinelu Asher, I think she's helped to alter, or she has altered the narrative of diaspora players. You know, when you talk about players coming to play for Jamaica from the diaspora, the first thing that people always question is desire and commitments, maybe doubling down on the commitments. But I think it's safe to say that she's been committed to us from the very start, you know, start of her career there, both club wise and on the international scenes. I don't think she's a player that needed to be persuaded to play for Jamaica. I can't speak for her. I think that's something that just came naturally. And, you know, she's one of those players there within the diaspora, birth in the diaspora, who obviously chose Jamaica when it wasn't fashionable to do so. And because of her commitment and what she's managed to produce on the field of play and possibly off it as well, you now have players, paraphrasing to what Coach Busby said in his announcement, the squad announcement. I believe he said we have players now from the diaspora, namely the UK, who are now approaching the Jamaica Football Federation, which does say a lot, doesn't it? I think that's another conversation to touch on a different day. So she's done a lot, and most recently she's been even more courageous with what she's done. I would say maybe in the last year and counting, if we just take a little step back and look at what she did. It goes without saying, definitely, that she, in my opinion, took a gamble on her reputation. And when I'm talking about reputation, I'm talking about the reputation as it relates to our fan base. She took a direct gamble, I believe. I'm going to look at a different screen. I'm going to bring something up on Chinelu in a bit. Yes, as I said, I think that she took a gamble on her reputation where the fans are concerned, and maybe quite possibly she might have took a gamble as it relates to her relationship with her teammates there, you know, teammates at the senior level where the Reggae Girlz are concerned. And that gamble, quite obviously, came when she decided to accept the call up and also wear the captain's armband for the Jamaica senior women's national team post the World Cup dispute there between the Reggae Girlz World Cup squad and the Jamaica Football Federation. The hustle and the tussle that was going on. And, you know, as I said, she's a veteran, she's a trailblazer. So she's part of the I should say lasting pillars of the foundation for the success of the Reggae Girlz. So much of what she did in terms of, I believe, bravery, accepting the call up is one thing, also being given the captain's armband, which I think for what it's worth, she definitely deserved the call up and the captain's armband. Much of that decision there and the acceptance, I think from an outsider looking on, was met with heaps of criticism and disrespect. And you only had to look at some of the stuff that was being said within our space, be it on Instagram or more importantly on YouTube, throughout the YouTube circuit, right? There's a lot that was being said, not just about Chinelu, but also about what they framed as the B team, the players who again accepted the call up, right? But saying that to say, for what it's worth, I don't want the coaching staff, which is once again being led by Coach Busby, to make the same mistake of yesteryear. And I'm not trying to pull no one's tail. I'm not trying to antagonize anyone, but you know, as I've said on other live streams, I don't like the way certain players, especially the Trailblazers have been treated. Another player that I think has been mistreated is Nicole McClure. And I don't need, a bit like Chinelu Asher, I don't need to reintroduce or talk about who Nicole McClure is. You guys already know who she is. The hero between the sticks, the one that stood up literally and took us over the line and made sure that we qualified for our first ever FIFA Women's World Cup way back in the 2019 cycle. So the treatment there that I'm referring to was when she was clearly pushed to the side, and I think it's kind of similar to what we're seeing now with Chinelu Asha. I think that, you know, the coaching, again led by Coach Busby at the time, literally announced Nicole McClure's retirement, and I thought that was absolutely unnecessary, and it was distasteful. It was unnecessary, and perhaps it should never have happened, because I'm not sure how you can retire a player without speaking to the player first. I'm not sure. I mean, Busby, that's probably a question to ask Busby. If you guys want to ask him, you can. But I think if he's honest with himself, he'll probably look at that in hindsight and call that a move that he should not have made. You know, again, not trying to antagonize people. I'm just trying to remind people of past mistakes with the hopes that they don't make similar mistakes. So yeah, announcing the retirement there of our heroic goalkeeper, history making goalkeeper, I thought that was distasteful and damn right disrespectful. And as I said, you know, I'm hoping that the new coaching setup, or I should say the current coaching setup, don't make the same mistake of yesteryear as it relates to how we treat our players. I don't want us to, I should say, let's not allow the likes of Asher and possibly other players. I don't know, maybe you could throw players like your Sweatman and maybe even your Carter into the mix. I'm just naming players off the top of my head. Let's not allow them to experience what a Nicole McClure would have experienced. Because saying that to say, I remember being in that press conference and I literally like sent her a DM and I was like, you know, congratulations on your retirement. You're basically thanking her for her service. And to put it straightforward, she basically said, like, what retirement? Paraphrasing, and you can imagine how embarrassing that is. And that's how I kind of realized, put two and two together, that she's actually not retired, or she hasn't actually made the decision to retire. So again, that was quite nasty to do that to one of our veterans. Of course, the same hasn't been done to Chinelu Asha, but I do wonder if anything is being done behind the scenes. Yes, as I said, I don't have no power, and I don't want to have no power to influence no players call up. That's to the coach decision. It should always be left to the coach's decision. Coaches are all going to have their own cup of tea. They're all going to have their own preferential choices and so on. But I think it wouldn't hurt to invite the legends of yesteryear, of a trailblazers like your Chinelu Asher to a game, if it's pending that it is feasible to do so. So, for example, she's currently playing in Mexico for Mazatlan. So, if we were, again, for argument's sake, conversation's sake, playing in Mexico, feasibility wise, it's more affordable to then fly her to wherever the venue is, allow her to like wave goodbye to the fans. In an ideal world, it would be better if she could do that on home soil at the National Stadium. It could even be something as simple as inviting her and a couple of the long-standing trailblazers there to a celebratory dinner. We know the Reggae Girlz have celebratory dinners here and there. Fortunately, that one appeared to have been organized by Sedella Marley, and we know she stepped aside from the team. She probably still have good relationships with most of the girls, to be fair. So maybe in the future they might have another celebratory dinner. But if they're gonna be having celebratory dinner, then I don't think it hurts to extend that invitation. It's just called being a decent human being. Or if feasibility is still an issue and you can't afford to fly them out or fly them close to you, then a simple phone call, I think, would do. I think a simple phone call would do. And I'm saying that because I don't think it's something that we do as a federation or as the coaching setup. Because as I said, when I sent that DM, I wasn't trying to antagonize no one. I wasn't trying to pull no one's tail, but it was quite apparent based on the response that a conversation was never had. And I'm beside myself how, and this is my word, this is just my understanding. I don't know how Nicole feels about that, or whether there was a conversation, but the fact that she's basically said she's not retired or she wasn't retired at the time, it does allow me to believe that a conversation wasn't had between McClure and also Busby. And I think that's quite sad. Again, it is disrespectful because she is an important piece within our history, within the puzzle of the Jamaican history. Her name has to get mentioned when you're talking about building the greatest team of all time. Her name has to be mentioned, whether people like that or not. It has to be mentioned, or at least for me, her name definitely gets mentioned. Because had she not done what she did between the sticks, we'd probably be sat here, maybe not even have qualified for the last World Cup, because you don't know the knock-on effect, right? Would we have been able to pulling other players from the diaspora? Would we have suffered a mental battle between ourselves? I'm saying we, like I'm one of the girls. Would the girls, I should say, had been able to you know what I'm going, you understand where I'm going, been able to produce when it matters, back to back, and so on. And now we're looking down the barrel at potentially qualifying for 3 World Cup appearances on the trot. So, when you're mentioning the successes of the Reggae Girlz, you always have to mention the likes of your Chinelu Asher, your Nicole McClure. So as I said, it could be something as simple as picking up the phone and saying to Chinelu Asha, if she's not part of the plans going forward, then just, if you haven't done so already, then for what it's worth, I think it's definitely something that should be encouraged. Pick the phone up, tell her that she's not part of the future planning of the team. She's a big girl. She's able to take a news like that and work with it. It could be something as well as to offer support. I'm not sure what she wants to do post career. I think she seems like a smart lady, so she's probably already looking at plan B, plan C. So even if it's as simple as offering some support, okay, what do you want to do post career? How can I help you to achieve these goals? It's just about being a decent human being. It's just do something decent and wonderful for someone who I think is so deserving, absolutely deserving. As I said, she gambled with her reputation well over a year ago. I think time does fly. I think my maths is probably a little bit off, but you get where I'm going with this one. And also I think, again, adding to what I've said, I just don't want her to be treated like previous players in terms of being kicked to the curb. As it relates to our head coach, Mr. Busby, I think even he can be honest with himself and potentially, don't need to admit nothing publicly, that things could have been handled differently with players of yesteryear. And taking that into consideration, let's not risk trampling on a players' well-being, when mental well-being, that is, when we definitely know better. Let's try doing better. Now, Chinelu Asha, before I segue, Chinelu Asha, for those of you who aren't aware, she actually she's doing some work there with Fifth Pro. But she sits on one of their boards at Fifth Pro. Again, for in terms of Fifth Pro, that's the abbreviation, and basically Fifth Pro is the Federation International Desk Association, the footballers professionals. That's basically who they are. Shall I go ahead and give you guys a little bit more info into Fifth Pro? Why not? Again, it will all make sense. Just giving you guys some context there as it relates to one of our veterans, Miss Chinelu Asha. Now, Fifth Pro, you guys are probably wondering, what did they do? You can see here what we do: defending the rights of players, plain and simple, right? The world of work in the professional football industry is complex, often fragmented, and rapidly evolving. Fifth Pro and player unions are working across a wide range of policies and areas to influence those issues that constitute the world of work of players. This is a couple of things that we have discussed, right? I've always made clear, just to remind you guys, that football is the players' 9 to 5. It is their job, and Fifth Pro actually supports that. So I'm sounding like a bit of a broken record, but I promise you I will be moving on swiftly. Let's go ahead and see a little bit more about Fifth Pro. Again, Chinelu Asha, our legend, our trailblazer, sits on one of their boards. It says here, Football is players' place of work. Absolutely correct. Fifth Pro shapes and influences the provisions currently available to players across the world as we strive to improve welfare and working conditions throughout the game. Just like any other industry, football is a player's place of work, and their career is their livelihood. They, just like any other worker, have rules and structures in place to protect their pay, their contracts, their working conditions and environment, their health and safety, and their development, right? And as it relates to Chinalu, I guess I could bring this one up. This one there I did do a post some 22 weeks ago. Seems like much longer than that. You guys probably saw this one over on my Instagram. I hope you can see the screen in front of you. It says here, Chinelu Asha and other notable players from across Europe gathered in Baoba. I think I butchered that one. Baoba, I think it's pronounced, guys. My apologies. Ahead of the UEFA Women's Champions League final to share best practices and insight on increasing the level of professionalism in women's domestic football as part of Fifth Pro Europe's raising our Game Europe 2025 initiative. So, in case you don't know where I'm going with that one, she's good enough for Fifth Pro to sit on one of their boards in terms of leadership, then I do think she's good enough to and deserving enough for what it's worth, for what she's done on the field of play, to pull the curtains on her own international career rather than being placed or kicked to the curb like a couple of her teammates of yesteryear. I definitely don't think no one should be pulling the curtains on any player's playing career. And that's something I wish the Reggae Girls would do better. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes of the Reggae Girls. And for what it's worth, listen, unless it's getting um to a point where it is of public interest, I personally am not too wanting to know what goes on. I think the girls deserve their space, they deserve their privacy unless it is of public interest. But I do hope if they're not doing so behind the scenes, I do hope that they do recognize these things that we recognize publicly and talk to the coaches about it, because maybe it's a case where someone like Busby, for example, and I'm using Busby's name because he's obviously our current coach and for no other reason, but he might not see what we see. And I have to like remind the girls that if you don't nip certain things in the bud, then you might be next. It might be you that's kicked to the curb next. It might be you that gets mistreated. It might be you that's overlooked. It might be you that don't get called up to subsequent camps, and you're probably sat at home wondering why is that, and no one is explaining anything to you. So if you see that it's happening, then I'm not saying make a social media post about it, then just do the right thing, pull people to the side and say, hey, look, um, I think this should be done, or it's probably how ex players being treated is probably not in good faith, or it doesn't look good, and so on. You guys are in the comment section. Let's see. Asha is a tricky one. LOL. I agree. In terms of their commitment, but I don't know if she is good enough. I don't think, as I said, it's that's subjective. That is subjective. And as I said, no one should have the power to pull coaches minds or influence in terms of who to call up. I'm not going to sit here and try to influence Coach Busby on who he should call up. That's for him to decide. So I'm not talking about Chinelu Asha being recalled to play in any friendlies or any competitive matches. I'm talking about the conversations that should be had if it's not been had already, in terms of where does she stand going forward. She deserves a phone call. She deserves a conversation. If it's even just 60 seconds, you don't want to speak to her via Zoom or whatever platform. She deserves a little WhatsApp phone call to say, hey, this is my plan going forward. And that's not debatable. That is not debatable. Whether she's still the same Chinelu Asha from a decade ago, that's absolutely irrelevant. I respect your opinion, DJ Kid. I'm not disputing with you, but I'm not even talking about whether Chinelu is still the same player she was from the first World Cup cycle. I don't even think I've touched on whether she is or not. Like, correct me if I have, because maybe I've misled you. So do correct me if I have. Good morning, good good evening there, Mr. Beckford. I hope you are well. Jordan, big up yourself. Owen, I hope you are well, Mr. Owen. Blair says, I only hope the Catherine Hall field is up to standard and the JFF don't embarrass us to the world. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, because you might not make it to 2025. All right. But I hope so too. So you guys there, so yeah, I wanted to get that off my chest, and I've lied to you guys like already. I said under an hour. We've already hit 39 minutes. But hey, look, when I'm a fan of someone, I like to do right by them. And definitely I'm a fan of certain players. I don't actually have a favorite reggae girl, but I'm appreciative of the legends that came so that the other girls can now run, all the legends that crept. I am definitely a fan of them. That World Cup cycle, that World Cup squad from the 2019 cycle definitely sits well with me, and I have a lot of time for them. So if I feel like something's a little bit off key, then obviously I'm going to speak about it again. I'm not trying to pull anyone's tail, not trying to piss anyone off. I just have something on my mind and I just have to speak about it. All right, so we're moving on to the meat of the matter with regards to tonight's show. And I've already touched on a couple of things. I even think Fifth Pro, coincidentally, this was completely unplanned. But if I go back to Fifth Pro, I think they even touched on a few things that I'm going to be discussing. It does say here, where am I looking at? It does say here about environment, health and safety, development, welfare. It does say, as we strive to improve welfare and working conditions throughout the game. So that's quite interesting, because I will be touching on sections of that throughout the show, right? Where do I start? So back to the topic of conversation. I'm over the last couple of days, maybe weeks, possibly months. I'm not sure if it stretches that far back. Or tell a lie, yes, it does, because we've been talking about this for a good while now. Couple years back now, with regards to namely, we spoke about the performance or the lack thereof of the senior women's Reggae Girls team back in the last World Cup cycles, the World Cup cycle of 2023. We spoke about that at length, on and off, because it was quite clear that something just isn't right. And I still can't put my hand on it. This is why I'm coming up with different conversation, trying to make sense out of nonsense. We spoke about a lot on my live stream some days ago, maybe even over the weekend or on a Monday, as it relates to where we're at with this Reggae Girls team. I think we spoke about a few bits there, maybe some key factors in the review of the France match. So I'm not going to go over that. But there's something else that's popped up into my mind. Again, one of my commenters, one of my subscribers gave me a little gentle nudge. And he clearly wanted us to speak about the need for a sports psychologist. So I was just like, good point. Yes, I've scratched the surface on that, but I didn't place that in my review. Annoyingly, I didn't. So I'm going to spend tonight talking about the sports psychologist there, and the fact that the senior women's Reggae Girls team don't currently have a sports psychologist. And conversation is more about a plea. I am actually pleading to the Jamaica Football Federation and the guys there in the high echelon to please give the Reggae Girls their sports psychologists. They do need sports psychologists. And reason for that, I think, is quite safe to say, just broadly speaking. Again, football is players 9 to 5. So just it's speaking in general, the mind, in my opinion, is our most powerful weapon. And I think maybe to an extent, I'm not sure percentage wise, but to an extent, the root of success, I think, all starts from the mind. Right, to achieve it, you have to believe it, and so on. And I think to be successful, the mind definitely has to be healthy and at peace. Right, those are some of the things that I thought of when I was trying to put this show together. And I started to wonder just how at peace is this Reggae Girls squad is. Again, focusing on the need there for our sports psychologists. First of all, I'm left wondering what happened to these sports psychologists. Do they need a sports psychologist? I'll allow you guys to answer that one in the comment section. But for me, yes, it is a straightforward yes. There's a couple of things that's happened over the last few years, maybe dating back to 2021 to the current, and it's probably led us to where we are now. So the past, I think, has led us to the present. So externally, we've seen so much unravel between the tug of war there between the Reggae Girlz and let's say Sedella Marley, Bob Marley Foundation, and also on the other hand, you have the Jamaica Football Federation, maybe Vin Blaine as well. Sorry, I know that name there probably shouldn't be. I feel like it's blasphemy when I say that name. I'm not trying to piss you guys off in the comment section. I promise you I'm not. But for argument's sake, for conversation's sake, clearly there's been some tug of war there behind the scenes from what we can see externally. With the main focus there being positioned between the Reggae Girlz and the Football Federation. Look at the most recent one as it relates to the fallout post World Cup, the departure of Lorne Donaldson, and so on. So, in the midst of all of that, there's been some clear, bitter disputes. And I think, if the Jamaica Football Federation want to be honest with themselves, they could have handled situations so much better than they did. And perhaps that's just down to hindsight. Hindsight is an absolutely wonderful asset. But I think if they want to be honest with themselves, situations definitely could have been handled better, especially when they've doubled down and spoken about wanting to deal with things internally and not wanting to say certain things externally to the media. At times, individuals from the Jamaica Football Federation have done the total opposite. So I think it's safe to say for us as an outsider looking on, there's been some bitter disputes. There's been some what appears to be intentional humiliation. At times, some of the treatment towards the girls, it does feel a bit like a combination of ageism and sexism mixed with a maybe slight or an overpouring of flat bullying. There's definitely been some uncomfortable conversation had like between against in particularly the last World Cup cycle, right, to the most recent. Definitely been some uncomfortable conversation. Also been heaps of hypocrisy. There's been lots of hypocrisy being spread around the Reggae Girlz. Again, namely, some of that has come from the Jamaica Football Federation. And when I say Jamaica Football Federation, I'm not talking about the federation as a whole. It's more to do with individuals or individual working for the Jamaica Football Federation where the hypocrisy is concerned. And I think much of what I've said, so in terms of the bitter disputes, the internal and external humiliation, maybe possibly ageism, sexism, flat track bullying, those uncomfortable conversations, those hypocrisy there that I've touched on. I think those of some of what I've highlighted is could potentially be part of the reasons why the team is looking underwhelming. I think if we want to be honest with ourselves, they're not performing at their utmost best, and I'm trying to understand why that is. So even if we look back at some of the achievements there for the team, so performing in the CONCACAF women's championship, putting medals around our necks, that's not something that we're unfamiliar with. That's it's within our locker, it's within our arsenal to do so, and we've done that once again. Even with the fact that we've been we're now back to back with I should say sealed back to back World Cup qualifications. That's not part of our I say glorious, maybe glamorous, or maybe not too glamorous when you look at all of the tug of war and the disputes, but as glamorous as it can be. So again, when you look at the back-to-back World Cup qualifications, adding to the round of 16, the fact that this current crop of senior Reggae Girls, especially the ones who went to the World Cup and also the first World Cup, Definitely, they are Jamaica's best performing football team, both male and female. But I think with what they've achieved within the CONCACAF Women's Championship, again qualifying for the back-to-back FIFA Women's World Cup, going to the round of 16, I think it papers over underlying issue. And I think, or maybe issues, I don't know. Again, I'm not privy to certain information, but I think much of their achievements, unfortunately, it does paper over some underlying issues there. And perhaps that's probably the reason why they've yet to receive their sports psychologist. Now, the results obviously does speak for itself. Football is a results game. So, unfortunately, if they are producing the good, which they are, I've already touched on the round of 16 back to back women's World Cup qualification and so on. Um, Naturally you're probably going to be looking and thinking that they don't need a sports psychologist, but I think you'll find that that's far from the truth. Again, if you look at the performance or performances, I think, in my opinion, without sounding disrespectful, it's been poor, and it's been poor because they're capable of performing way better than how they've been performing of late. As I've said on previous live streams, star players aren't shining. So the likes of your Bunny and your Brown, I have to ask you guys. I asked myself this question and I couldn't really come up with an answer. When was the last time that those two plays, and it's not about scapegoating, it's just about forming conversation. When was the last time that those two players there had dazzling performances? I want you guys to give me a gentle reminder. And I'm saying that to say, if you can't get the maximum best out of a back-to-back Ballon d'Or nominee and a former CONCACAF Young Player of the Year, then I think you can probably jump the gun and say all is lost for the rest of our attackers and potentially just players in general. Now, as it relates to sports psychologists, the bottom line is the Reggae Girls currently don't have a sports psychologist. I could add some context there and talk about the fact that they once had a sports psychologist. I could go ahead and speak about some stuff there with you guys. Bear with me. See if I can change my screen and talk about brush up on the brush up on some past. I'm not really sure what the heck is on my screen. I might have to give that one another spin. I don't think it worked for you guys. Right, I can see the screen that I need to see, but I don't think you guys can. So let's give that another spin. Hopefully it works this time round. It's still not working, guys. My screen's being a little bit of a enemy of progress. I don't think you guys can see it. No, you cannot. All right, how am I going to give you guys this information? Let me pause for a second and see why it isn't showing. I wanted to actually share a piece with you guys, but it's not showing. So I think what I might have to do is just go back to the other screen, and you guys just have to trust my words here, right? Because it's not showing clearly on the screen. But I will go back and give you guys some information there as it relates to our previous psychologist. So it does say here on my screen, I'm looking at a article here, and I think this one belongs to the Daily Observer. So if you guys want to go ahead and do your own wider reading, you could search the Daily Observer website, right? And we're looking at I'm looking at an article that focuses on the previous sports psychologist, and his name is Nicholas Powell. Bit of a shame that you guys can't see the screen in front of me. Again, just trust my words. And if you want to do some wider reading, you're more than welcome to do so on the Daily Observer. All right. So I'm trying to be as fair and as transparent as I can. Right. So it says here, oft times during a Reggae Girls camp, the coaching staff would focus most on its attention on the players' physical conditioning and technical skills, with little or no time spent on psychological preparation. That was before Mr. Powell there was appointed, right? And following on from that, or continue on with the article there in front of me, it does say but gone all those days. It's a bit of a shame that but gone all those days, because unfortunately we're now back at said days, right? So do try to keep up with me, guys. This article here was written back in 2021, the 7th of June 2021, for context, right? So continue on with that article. It does say, but gone all those days, as Reggae Girlz global ambassador Cedella Marley and the Bob Marley Foundation, you guys should already know that they've since stepped away. So the Bob Marley Foundation and Mr. Della Marley has had to step away. I'm sure you guys know the reason for that. If you don't, let me know in the comment section and I might be able to like bring you up to speed. All right. So it does again say here, I'm reading the article as it is. But I'll try to add as many context as I can in terms of clarity and bringing us on the same page, right? So again, it does say here, the Cedella Marley and the Bob Marley Foundation have acquired the services of sports psychologist Nicholas Powell to apply psychological knowledge and skills to address the performance and well-being of players. And I thought that was quite intriguing that Mr. Powell there was brought in to look at the skills and to address the performance and maybe perhaps more importantly the well-being of the players. As I said, in terms of us gathering those success and making use of our success and improving the way that we play. Clearly this is one of the reasons why he was brought in, because as I said, success, as with most things, it all starts with the mind, right? It does also say here in the article that Mr. Powell there has a Master of Science and Education. He also has a certified in mental performance. Is a certified mental performance coach and with the Association of Applied Sports Psychology. And coincidentally, it also says here that he will work alongside head coach Hubert Busby and his staff to provide support for the players throughout the use of focus tools to assist the players to maximize their performances on the field. I don't think I need to go any further with that article. If you guys want to give it a read, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to try and see if I can actually drop the link to the article in the comment section, and maybe you guys could go ahead and give the article a read in your own time, right? So let me go ahead and drop that article down there. You guys could go ahead and read the article. Right. So in terms of Mr. Powell's appointment, I guess we have to take a moment to once again thank Cedella Marley and the Bob Marley Foundation, because clearly when I heard that we as in the team once had a sports psychologist, I actually thought it was the Jamaica Football Federation that brought in Mr. Nicholas Powell, but clearly they didn't. That was to the work of Cedella Marley and the Bob Marley Foundation. Right. So clearly there, in case you guys haven't caught on, he previously worked with the Reggae Girlz, and it seemed as if it was short-lived. So it seems as if my understanding is that he was brought in back in 2021. And don't quote me on this, but it does appear as if he potentially might have only lasted a year. So it might have been just from 2021 to 2022. More importantly, he currently doesn't work with the girls, right? Doesn't currently work with the girls, which is a massive disappointment given the current conversation there around mental well-being, the need for protecting the players' well-being and so on, all the benefits that comes with taking care of the players' well-being. But as it relates to the Reggae Boys, coincidentally, the Reggae Boys have actually been privy to have access to a sports psychologist, and it is someone that you guys are quite well familiar with. That is Mr. Dr. Hamilton. I did interview Dr. Hamilton back in at the 2022 Commonwealth Games. I think it goes without saying that he's definitely no stranger to Jamaican athletes, and I think when you listen to someone like Dr. Hamilton speak, he does come across as someone who does display allyship. So before I go on and speak any further, I guess I could spin the interview I did with Dr. Hamilton some 3+ years ago, because coincidentally, I actually think it's still relevant. I think the topic of conversation that was discussed there as it relates to well-being and the need for a sports psychologist is still ever relevant. So I'm going to pause temporarily. I'm going to play that interview there that I did with Dr. Hamilton, and then we're just going to move on forward. Okay? As you can see, I've found the man again, Mr. Dr. Hamilton. I know you guys liked the interview I did with him some nights ago. And we're back again. How are you, Dr. Hamilton?
I'm fine, Crystal from St. Thomas. Love you, girl. Love it. Love what you're doing with the show.
Thank you so much, sir. I had to get you again for another conversation, another chat, because I've seen that the Sunshine Girls completely, absolutely hammered Barbados, our friendly rivals. What do you make of that result?
Well, yeah, the Sunshine Girls are mentally strong. They are physically strong. Coaches and everybody is doing a good job. So they're preparing and they're peaking. You know, mentally, I love how the girls are doing, and I love what the coaches and everybody, the defensive coach Rob, Connie, head coach, everybody's doing a good job, and the girls are playing well. Very very proud of them.
I'm so glad that I've been blessed with the opportunity to talk to you, because there's something that we have in common. I know that you have a sincere passion for mental health. Just share with me, why is it so important for athletes to take care of their mental well-being?
Okay, I'm glad. So I am the sports psychologist for the Jamaica team and with the Jamaica Olympic Association as well. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist in Jamaica, and I'm a licensed sports psychologist. So this aspect of sports is very important to me. There's a region in your brain called a limbic cortical region, and sometimes it can cause us to do silly things or difficult things or not the right thing. So here you're an athlete, you trained for 4 years, you get up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, you've sacrificed, you see your friends going out, you know, you see them wearing them wicked clocks like the clocks that you have on, and them want to go to the street or they want to go to the party, but they don't go because they're disciplined and they're training. And then you get all the way to competition and you have anxiety or fear of failure or just a whole host of things. So that's where I work. I work as the clinical psychologist and a sports psychologist to help the athlete perform on the day how they need to perform and how they want to perform. I'm not just there to just address clinical issues. I'm here to help the athlete perform and to work on the mental aspect of their performance.
Marvelous stuff. I'm glad that you exist. I want to ask you a question that's been just pounding at me. With the rise of social media, so the Instagram and the Twitter and the Facebook, so where you have the keyboard warriors, is there a correlation there to athletes now facing a setback on their mental well-being? Because anybody can put a nasty comment under your social media and just run with it.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Um, so women are many times smarter than men because their prefrontal cortex is fully developed at 21. Men, it develops at 25. And the prefrontal cortex is that part of your brain that, makes you manage some, say, bad decisions. So you see why young men are more impulsive and girls are a little bit more mature at a certain age. So now here it is, you having this social media thing, which can be hurtful, it can be mean. People could have gambled money on the race that you're in. You drink up a lot of liquor and you angry that you lose your money and you light up the person who you think is the reason why your team didn't win, and you're hurting some little girls or people that work hard to participate for Jamaica. Listen, competing and participating for Jamaica is not an easy thing. One, they train hard, but we are a hard people to please. You understand? I say, if Bob Marley was to ever come back to life and he had like a sore throat or a hoarse throat and he was singing that Sting and him not singing so well, he might receive some Guinness and Heineken. You understand? So, just the same way with this social media, some people are very mean on it. And if you are not mature enough to understand those people not really in your existence and what they think, that's their opinion. But when you're young and your brain isn't fully developed, that thing can affect you. It can definitely affect athletes, mental performance, physical performance, and whether the athlete want to continue representing Jamaica.
Absolutely spot on. Dr. Hamilton, going forward, how do we get the government of Jamaica to turn an eye where he says that we have to be more assertive or attentive to mental health and taking care of athletes' mental well-being. In certain countries, if you attack a person, be it online or face to face, especially in relation to discrimination, that could be deemed as a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
Hate crime, for example, in England, that could potentially come with a prison sentence. And no, Jamaica, we're always playing catch up, but how do we bring Jamaica up to speed to say, look, if you do X, Y, Z, you could be facing jail time and some serious numbers behind it.
Yeah, that's a very good question because here's the thing. When somebody does something mean and then them say, oh, I was just joking, that's a way to try get yourself out of the situation after you did things. If you know that legal action can be taken against you for a post, because how I think of it, and it's a very good question, once you took the time to type and to tweet or to text or to whatever you did, you communicated on social, that's a legal document, right? That can go into court. Somebody could say, see it here, I see this, you write this is your name, you understand? This tag is associated with you. And yeah, so if it get in there where they're doing things similar to how they do it in the UK and you face consequences, I'm all for it. Because people, it is becoming very lax and people can just hide behind some name they created and abuse people mentally. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton. You're an absolute blessing. And thank you so much, dare I say, for being a shoulder to cry on or a shoulder to lead on for our athletes. Long may it continue and enjoy the rest of the games.
I appreciate it. I'm going to just big up my nephew, Tessellated, who you went to see his concert. And I hope when Tessellated is back in London or in England that you guys go to visit. I'm going to show Tessellated a picture of your clocks.
I'm laughing, but because for some reason, I hope you guys can hear me. For some reason, my clocks, guys don't probably know this, but I do love wallabies, and my wallabies had a lot of talk at the 2022 Commonwealth Games. So that's what Dr. Hamilton was speaking about. So I decided to play that interview there between myself and Dr. Hamilton, because as I said, is if I did not tell you guys that that interview was from 2022, you probably think it was quite recent. No, it isn't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys, but it does, I think, speaks volumes because some of the questions there and what was said by Dr. Hamilton, I think, is still unfortunately quite relevant to today and more importantly to today's conversation. Hence, me sharing that interview there with you guys. All right. Again, so the for context, the girls have already reap the benefits, I should say, of being awarded with a sports psychologist. The previous psychologist for the Reggae Girlz was Mr. Nicholas Powell. And since then, unfortunately, for some unknown reasons, pet peeve again with women's football, people hold their cards close to their chest. Ask me why Mr. Powell is no longer around the setup for the Reggae Girlz, and I can't give you an answer. I probably have to make sense out of nonsense a bit like you guys there in the comment section. But unfortunately for the Reggae Boys, it was made quite apparent, even some 4 months back, so it is quite recent, that Mr. Dr. Hamilton there is working or has worked with the Reggae Boys there, the senior men's football team. So as recently as 4 months back, and probably even sooner, I'm not sure if he was in the last camp, but he might have been or might have been able to contact him on the phone and so on. Saying that to say, if you can give the Reggae Boys their sports psychologist, why can you not share that opportunity and that benefit with the Reggae Girls? I mean, he's right there. He is within touching distance. He is reachable. We all know the benefits of having a sports psychologist, which I'm going to touch on because I don't think I've touched on it enough, and how it relates to the Reggae Girls and how it can more importantly benefit the Reggae Girls. So if the Reggae Boys have their sports psychologists, why can't the Reggae Girls equally have access to a sports psychologist? Whether you guys want to recall or reappoint, it didn't appoint Mr. Powell to begin with, but for argument's sake, if ever you want to reappoint or recall Mr. Powell, that's down to you guys. Or perhaps you feel that, you know, since Dr. Hamilton is already there, why not make use of him and also extend that support over to the Reggae Girls? And I'm surprised that it hasn't happened already, because, you know, I don't know Dr. Hamilton on a personal level, but I did have some conversation there with him face to face at the Commonwealth Games, off the record conversation as well. And he does appear to be quite sincere. It does appear to me that he does mean well, and he does want equality spread across the board as it relates to the treatment and the lack of equality presented to our female athletes. So I'm a little bit surprised that Dr. Hamilton isn't currently working with the Reggae Girls, given that he's been given the license to work with the Reggae Boys. I'm not sure what that's all about. I just think, again, it's probably undermining and disrespect from where the certain individual in the high echelon of the Jamaica Football Federation is concerned. And also, they're probably looking at the Reggae Girls and being quite naive and thinking that they don't need a sports psychologist because they're performing on the field of play. Again, I'd like to say, for what it's worth, those performances, those accolades, those individual brilliant moments, and also collectively does in turn paper over the cracks from what we can see from an outsider looking on. So I do, as I said, do believe that the Reggae Girls should be given a sports psychologist once more, whether that should be Mr. Powell or Dr. Hamilton. I think if the Jamaica Football Federation are willing to have those conversations, then most certainly I know certain individual in the high echelon, not the biggest fan of the Reggae Girls, and probably think the Reggae Girls should just remain quiet and do as they're told. But as they will be the ones reaping the benefit of a sports psychologist, I think the team should have an input. The team should have a say with regards to who they would like to work with. I think this one is probably quite obvious, given that they already, and I can't speak for the girls because Dr. Hamilton, his name speaks volumes. He's worked with recognizable names across sports where Jamaica is concerned. Some of our biggest athletes, he's worked with them. So his CV or his resume definitely speaks for itself, and he's already there. So whether the girls want to work with Mr. Powell because there's already a rapport and a relationship building, that relationship have already been built and set in stone, it would make sense, because when you're talking about psychology and all the implications that comes with it, it's probably better to work with someone or lean on someone where you already have the rapport, so you don't have to feel like it's, you know, draining energy to repeat yourself to someone new. But then again, as I said, Dr. Hamilton is already there. He's already through the door. Clearly already working with the Reggae Boys. So I don't think it would take much of an effort for him to just segue and just also in turn balance the books and also work with the Reggae Girls. I think it's something that he'll definitely be up for. And I can't speak for him, but I do think for what it's worth, for what those conversations that I had with Dr. Hamilton back some 2+ years ago, I think he would not turn down the opportunity to work with the Reggae Girls. Do they need a sports psychologist? Yes, I think, as I've said, I do believe that it is potentially part of the missing piece, the missing puzzle there, as it relates to how do we get the best out of this team? How do we get that machine to work again? Because it is working, it's just not working to the highest of standards. Like, we're not seeing the performances that we desire. And I think one of the reasons why we're not seeing the performances that we all desire is because there might be some mental blockage there that we're not aware of, because obviously we don't know the girls on a personal basis. So as I said, we're not seeing those performances there that we desire. Let me go ahead and bring back up that screen there for those of you who are just tuning into the live stream. 2 games coming up there against South Africa. We will touch on South Africa before I continue. As I was saying, as it relates to the need for the reappointment of a sports psychologist nowadays, in football or maybe just in general, it's no longer taboo. Thank God, gone are the days where talking about your mental health is taboo. Nowadays, we're seeing athletes of the biggest name, highest caliber, talking about mental health and the need for mental health support. And Mr. Hamilton, Dr. Hamilton, there spoke about paraphrasing about how difficult it is to play for Jamaica. You don't need him telling you. I'm pretty sure the girls and the guys in the comment section and those of you who are silently watching know just how difficult it is to play for Jamaica. Playing for Jamaica, playing for the fans. Unfortunately, they basically expect nothing but the maximum, and they expect that all the time. And there are a fraction of our fan base who are just absolutely horrid. I don't think we can do anything about that. In terms of where we are as people, as followers of football, definitely social media does play a role in it. It's clear that we're now operating during the rise of social media. We are in a social media day and age, and if you're talking about social media, you really do have to state the obvious, and the obvious is that as it relates to our players, they have become more accessible. Players are now more accessible than they were some 15-20 years ago, again because of the rise and the accessibility from social media. And with that being said, clearly because they are so easily accessible, unfortunately, they're now hearing and seeing the abuse near and far. I remember speaking with you guys about a reggae girl there who received some nasty comments in relation. I won't say exactly what was said, but someone basically went inside her DM and spoke about what they want to do to the reggae girl unborn child. And you can just imagine how anyone would feel, even if you're not a reggae girl. Someone says that to you as a human being, man or woman, you could just imagine how you would feel. And I'm not going to add any graphic visual to that. I'm pretty sure you can just envision how that conversation transcended. And I think for the most part, as it relates to our fans and their hostility, people do tend to forget that these players are human beings. And just like you and I, they have to deal with personal problems. This is where the sports psychologist would come into play. Because when you're looking at personal problems as human beings and not them as footballers, let's look at them for what they are, human beings first. Just like you and I, myself and you guys in the comment section, they're going to experience the everyday issues that we experience, problems with their family, friends, relationships. And as they are players, professional players, and their 9 to 5 is different to you and I, they will also experience problems with their clubs at times, not all the time, but at times. And when you summarize all of that and look at all of what I've just said in terms of the issues there and the problems, it's no secret, it's not far-fetched to know and to believe that is baggage. That is baggage, and the baggage can be burdensome. And that for me supports the idea to recall or reintroduce, re-implement a sports psychologist. Because how would a sports psychologist help the reggae girls? They could help them for a number of reasons. I don't know the girls on a personal level, as I've always said, but there will be times, if it hasn't happened already, where it's quite evident that we could see things, issues in relation to burnout, players coping with injuries, communication or lack thereof, not knowing how to control one's energy. So energy control, confidence might be a question mark. Confidence might be a thing of the past. Overcoming moments where they might have played for their club and they probably didn't come up clutch. So they might have had moments where they quote unquote choke. Now we're talking about choking. I'm not talking about literal choking, but choking in the sense of, let's look back at the last men's UEFA men's UEFA men's what do you want to call it, Euros, where you had the trio of black boys there, Saka, Rashford, and I think it was Sancho as well, who unfortunately choked in the sense that they missed their penalty. Now you can imagine what that would have done to them mentally because of the abuse. It's one thing missing the penalty for your country and perhaps feeling that you are at fault for your country not winning the Euros, but then you can imagine the backlash that came from that came with that from their own fans. And when you look at that, surely at some point they probably had to see a psychologist so they can get over that mental blockage, right? That's what I mean when I'm talking about overcoming choking. And then also you have to look at emotional control, the fact that things happen in these players' life, be it at a personal level or where their club is concerned, and they will need some sort of emotional support to control their emotions. They will need support to help them stay focused or become focused. They will need support to help bring out the the leaders within them. And all of that is a tall ask if you have no one to lean on, if you have no one to turn to. I wouldn't say that the issues there that I've highlighted in terms of the player burnout, potential burnouts, coping with injuries. And when I talk about coping with injuries, that could be quite broad. So naturally, God forbid if you have a player who's suffered a ACL injury, typically that just means you're probably out for 12 months and you probably never go back to being the same in terms of how you previously performed on the field of play. But what that 12 months looks like is probably hell, because for most parts you're probably sat at home with just you and the four walls with no one to talk to. And even if it's not like that, you still have to get over that mental blockage, because your mind is probably thinking at club level someone's going to take my spot, so I'm probably going to have to hurry up, get better, reclaim my spot, and so on. And unfortunately, much of what some of the players would have experienced in terms of that mental blockage there, you know, coping with the injuries, energy control, lack of confidence, they would have unintentionally brought maybe a selection or a collection of those problems into the national setup unintentionally. And that could potentially, if what I'm saying holds water, provide further issues where the national team is concerned. And some of those issues could be in relation to having clouded judgments, can't think clearly because of that mental blockage. Yes, coaching isn't the best, but I don't think coaching is the overarching reason pertaining to why we're playing the way we are performance wise. I think there's multiple reasons there as it relates to our current or recent performance, irrespective of the fact that we're doing what we need to do. Football is a game of results and we are performing, we are qualifying for World Cups. The girls are putting medals around their necks. They're going to the round of 16. So results wise, they're coming up with the results, right? But performance wise, it's not where it needs to be. And adding to what I've said, so you know, the coaching, the clouded judgments, not being able to think clearly. Subsequently, I think, as I've already stated in multiple live streams, that I think has led to these subpar performances. And people are probably thinking, what does that have to do with the JFF? Why should the JFF sort out problems that the girls have to deal with at national level? Because it is the right thing to do. Sorry, at club level, because it is the right thing to do. And if it's now something, if what I'm saying holds water, then it's now become the issue of the Jamaica Football Federation, and they have to be the ones to sort it out. And I'm not being funny, but if you can give the boys a sports psychologist, you damn sure can give the women a sports psychologist as well, because they are just as relevant and just as important as their male counterparts. So I think it's an absolute slap in the face again that you literally, you're taking the mick. You have a sports psychologist within the four walls of the Jamaica Football Federation, and you're not extending that support over to the women's team. It's as if they are fluff, and it's as if they can just be blown away and just forgotten about. And that's absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable. If Mr. Hamilton, I'm pretty sure Dr. Hamilton isn't working for free. If he's already on your payroll, already on your books, then push him over onto the women's team as well. And I'm sure he would welcome that opportunity with both arms. Or if not, recall Mr. Powell and ask him if he can come back and work with the team, because I think it is needed. As I said, some people probably say it's not the problem, it's not the working of the Jamaica Football Federation. I think that's nonsense. They're already doing so with the men's team. Perhaps one of the reasons why they're doing so is because you've had players, key players like your Mikel Antonio, who has spoken about his mental well-being, and kudos to him for doing that as a black man. We want to see more of that, and perhaps it would help if maybe we have one of the Reggae Girls speaking about that as well. But I don't necessarily think they need to do that, because the Jamaica Football Federation, they're no fools. They know the benefits of a sports psychologist. And as I said, Dr. Hamilton is already there. He's already through the door. He's literally right in the house as we speak. Again, people are going to probably say it's not the job of the Jamaica Football Federation. I do want to remind people the way that I see it. Once those players they leave their clubs, their universities, and so on, the JFF, in my opinion, is responsible for their well-being. Period. Because in turn, I then see that as a passing over of the Jamaica Football Federation of, for the time being, become their parent or guardian. Right? They're holding down that position, they're anchoring that position. So it is their responsibility to make sure that these players are all right, to make sure that they're mentally conditioned. Mental well-being, I think that's something that the Reggae Boys gaffer Steve McLaren brushed upon in a press conference from the last camp. And I think paraphrasing it, kind of scratched the surface on the importance of well-being. And perhaps that's probably the reason why Dr. Hamilton is there, because it is important to have sports psychologists in this day and age. This is not the Stone Age. It's not the back in the day where man a ride donkey and them thing there. This is modern times where we know better, so we should be doing better. We know better, we should be doing better. And I do need the Jamaica Football Federation and the orchestrator. I think I need to speak directly to the orchestrator, because clearly he's the one that pulls the string. I'm going to need you to just whatever belly you're carrying for Sadella Marley, park that to one side and start to treat the girls with a little bit more respect. Start to treat them as equal to their male counterparts. Not asking for much. All we're asking for is fairness and equality. That's it. We're just asking for fairness and equality. We're not trying to pull no one's tail. We're not trying to make a song and dance. We're not trying to create a scene. We're just asking for fairness and equality. And as I was thinking about the need for a sports psychologist, one player really popped up in my mind. And this is, again, my opinion. I don't know the lady on a personal level, but I was thinking of Chantal Swaby and what we saw in that game there against France. And I'm not trying to scapegoat her. Again, I don't know on a personal level, so she's probably fine. She probably don't need a sports psychologist, but she may very well need a sports psychologist. We do know already that she is new and currently unsettled in her club environment as it relates to Leicester City. And I'm saying unsettled because she has yet to solidify a spot in the starting 11. So there goes the unsettlement. Unsettlement for me means that she's a regular in the starting 11, and she's not coming on off the bench and so on. And we know she has it in her chamber to do so. It's just going to take some doing, perhaps forcing her way into the coach's mind, and subsequently being part of the starting 11. So unfortunately, as it relates to Lucas Swaby there, she was at fault, unintentionally, unfortunately at fault for the opening goal there against France. Could it have been avoided? I don't know her on a personal level, but I do know that she is experienced enough to not make such a cheap and costly mistake. And it did make me wonder, was she mentally ready, mentally prepared to play against France? And that probably sounds a little bit odd to you guys, because obviously she's has the experience of playing against said opponents. I'm just trying to make sense of certain situations there. Again, looking at her club setup and wondering, if she's okay, currently, mentally, and so on. And then trying to look at that and potentially see how it might align and relate to what we're seeing with the national national team. But again, what I've just said as it relates to Chantel's story, we probably don't hold water, and I can live with that because it's just my opinion. It's not facts. But I think adding to what I've said, in this day and age, a sports psychology, without a shadow of a doubt, is pretty much essential to any serious setup, any setup that wants to talk about long-term gratification. You need to hire a sports psychologist. You need to hire a sports psychologist, because in this day and age, as I've said, where players are speaking out and sharing their stories around mental health, namely one of our very own, Michael Antonio, is diabolical, and it's unfair to not have a sports psychologist for the women's team when your men's team have been given the benefit of attaining a sports psychologist. I'm going to drop the link. I don't think I've done this already. I do apologize. I did call it a call-in show. If you guys want to jump on, you're more than welcome to. I've been talking at you guys for over almost 1 hour and 30 minutes. If you guys want to jump onto the show, you are more than welcome to. My apologies. I did forget to drop the link earlier on, so I do apologize. Let's see what you guys are saying there in the comment section. Good night to yourself, Sebastian. I hope that you are okay. Do I like brown clocks? No, funny enough. Good question, but no. Is Bunny gonna play back for the Reggae Girlz? I don't think Bunny's hung up her boots, so I should think yes. They should get back Donaldson, says Sebastian. Sebastian said them too cheap. They need to give the Reggae Girlz a sports psychologist. It's not even about being cheap. It's about them being disrespectful. They're just so spiteful, and it's not even them or they. It's just that orchestrator in the high echelon. He's the one that I believe is behind the disrespect. Like, let it go. Let it go. Let that belly go. Like, if you wanna beef someone, like, go beef Sedella, but leave the girls alone and like grow up. Grow up. Because in big matches you need psychologists. You do need a psychologist. That was before the girls played Haiti. That's Heartless, the same thing they did with Janelle. Yeah, exactly. The ladies have more issues. Cooperation between team and JFF, and the bullish treatment was seen after the most successful season in all levels at the World Cup. They weren't allowed to get their flowers. They're never allowed to get their flowers. That's why we have to keep speaking for them. It's not about wanting to make a scene. What time is it? It's almost 2 a.m. here in London. I really don't have time for nonsense. But what I do naturally, it does come naturally for me, is I fight for what's right. I've always done so, and I'm always going to do so. I think it's damn right disrespectful that you have a in-house psychologist and you can't allow the girls to utilize the psychologist. You're damn right disrespectful for that. You're so disrespectful. You're so disrespectful. And the fact that the one time that the girls had a sports psychologist that was being paid for from through the pockets of our former, I should say, global ambassador, Mr. Delamali, and the Bob Marley Foundation. So it's just disrespectful. Like, it's not even a case of you can't afford it. I'm not trying to hear that crap, because he's already working with the men's team. And as I said, if you call Dr. Hamilton right now and say, okay, we want you to work with the women's team, he's not saying no. Even if his diary is jam-packed, he's making room. He will make room for those girls. He will make room for those girls. JSY Talks Football Fan Channel. Good day to yourself. And this is my first time coming across your channel. What do you do? What type of football do you talk about? It's a shame we have wasted almost 2 years of prime Bunny, in my opinion, a true example of a player that young girls should look up to. And this is the thing. This is why this conversation, because the preparation for World Cup 2027 starts now. It starts now. Everything that we do now matters. Let's not forget that in terms of the World Cup squad there, they were not together in camp for the best part of 9 months. 9 months without seeing each other, right? And playing with one another. So they still have some catching up to do. In the October international window for the women's team, they only had one friendly. So not only do they have 9 months worth of catching up to do in terms of not being able to play with each other within that time period, but they also have one less one less preparation match for the World Cup qualification process there for FIFA 2027 Brazil. That is, next FIFA Women's World Cup will be held in Brazil. So they're always up against it. They're always fighting for things that they shouldn't be fighting for, you know? And it has to be called out. He was out of football. Oh, I don't even remember his injury, to be honest with you. Yes, Crystal, women football has seen the bottom of the barrel, and thanks to people like Sedella, was able to kickstart what we see today. Bottom of the barrel behavior, bottom. They're always bottom of the barrel, bottom of the barrel, and it needs to stop. Like it can't keep on being like this. You know, it cannot keep on being. It takes nothing for the Jamaica Football Federation to say, okay, Dr. Hamilton, work with the girls. If you feel like you don't want to recall Mr. Powell because he was previously brought in by Stella Marlin, because I know some of you are so petty and you like to cut off your nose to spite your face, fair enough. We can work with Dr. Hamilton. I can't speak for the girls, but I'm sure they work with Dr. Hamilton, right? Because he's got his CV's resume, as I said, speaks for itself. But the fact that you're not even making that suggestion is just, you're sickening, JFF. On a sickening, very bad. And I don't even want to like lose my cool, but you guys know how to press people's button and push people over the head unnecessarily as well. I love the girls them were gelling with Coach Donaldson. You have that person who keep their mind in, you have to have that person to keep their mind in a steady space. Yeah, you do. You do. In part of success, I think the first stage of success starts from up here. It starts from what you believe in. It all starts from here. If someone is in your head day and night telling you that you're an idiot, you're naturally going to believe that you're inadequate. I've been in position where I've worked with people and they made me feel so low and stupid that I started to believe that I was just inadequate. Like my confidence was just rock bottom. Like I had no confidence. I could not perform. No matter how good I was at my job or how good I know I could be, I just couldn't perform. I just could not perform because my surrounding just made me feel like I was inadequate. And you know, it's probably the same with the Reggae Girlz, because I don't know them on a personal level. Maybe you guys in the comment section know them, but I don't know these girls on a personal level, so I don't know what they go through. I don't know about things that they have to deal with their family, with their partners, with their clubs. All of that does matter because they're human beings. They're human beings, and sometimes we unintentionally take our personal life into our working environment, because we just don't have that support, that mental health support there to help us separate the two, or to help us what do I want to say now, I guess I could say stitch up those open wounds. Probably a lot of those Reggae Girls have wounds, open wounds, raw wounds that we're not aware of, dealing with issues that we're not aware of because they're not speaking about it publicly. And to be honest with you, for what it's worth, I wouldn't encourage them to speak about certain things publicly because sometimes people might use it against you. That's not to say I'm discouraging anyone. Do what's comfortable to you, with you. But I just think a good play of starting would be the sports psychologist, because of the benefits that comes with speaking to a sports psychologist, right? Good night, Crystal. Just reach. I told you that the other night we are in trouble for the World Cup qualifiers. Pick up yourself, typical son. Yeah, Jermaine, I did put the link. Jermaine, let me go ahead. You can click on the link in the comment section, Jermaine. For me to start up my YouTube number right now, I would have to do something. I tell you what, Jermaine, I don't actually have I haven't set up my connection. So there's a process where I have to basically connect my phone to my desktop, and so that the audio can be clear. If I go against the setup, you guys are going to hear my TV, and I don't want to get a copyright violation, hence dropping the link to the stream where you can jump on and have your say, okay? A country like Jamaica, you will hear so many negative. Momentum is important in football, and we lost that after the World Cup. Yeah, man, with the girls, them lose wally per momentum. 9 months. 9 months. Jesus, that's a long time. So the momentum, and you can see it. You can see it that this is why I said, something just doesn't feel right about the team. And I'm trying to have multiple conversation to make sense of what we're seeing, because it just don't feel right. Something just don't feel right. Webster said it was just a mistake. As I said, I don't know. Big up yourself, Mr. Webster. I don't know Chantel, but again, I'm just, I wasn't trying to as I said, I wasn't trying to scapegoat her. I'm just trying to, kind of understand what could have led to that moment. You could mistake could also translate to you not being 100% switched on, right? As wrong as I could be. Mistakes happen. Anyone can make mistakes, but you could also put that down to potentially not being 100% switched on, right? Sebastian says because they fired the coach, that's where they went wrong. I think there's some misunderstanding here as it relates to Donaldson. Because for what I understand, so Donaldson was brought in to basically help us qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup, right, of 2023, because of the whole issue there with Vin Blaine. And then from what I understand, he was then given a contract to take us to the World Cup, right? So I wouldn't go as far as to say that he was fired. One can argue and to say why they never extend his contract, but I wouldn't say that they fired him from what I understand, unless I was being lied to, right? I will stick a pin in it. And Mr. Lee, I think this is my first time having you on the program. How are you, sir? How you doing?
But good, you have me on before one, but me just change up a little bit.
Okay, all right, you fooled me. How you doing?
Me good, man. Me good, man. I actually like what you're doing, and you're fighting for the girls, right?
Thank you.
And it's like the other day, I was actually, you're the one that was talking to you back and forth, going back about the qualifying, and I told you about the big six. You remember you was like,
Oh,
man, what big six you talking about? And you said, explain myself. But Crystal, can
yes.
did if you're not watching what's going on in the region, right?
Mm,
CONCACAF, right? It's
mm,
not gonna be easy for us, baby. It's not gonna be easy. Take away the
mm,
USA and Mexico and Canada. Take away the USA and Canada, right?
yeah,
Mexico improve a lot. Costa Rica improve a lot. Haiti improve a lot. Guatemala improve a lot. Who else? Like the region is bussing, man. And I think not having these games is killing us. No, I'm not saying that, what I mean, that we're not going to qualify, but it's getting much harder.
yeah. I think what you're saying holds water. I agree, because if we're being honest with ourselves, there was a moment when we were trying to qualify for the FIFA Women's 2023 World Cup, and we were looking at Dominican Republic, and we're like, they are absolutely smashing it, you
I
know.
forgot to mention them too. I forgot to mention them. Yes, they
But
are moving. Go ahead.
mm, but my problem with what we're seeing of the Reggae Girls is it's almost as if we're taking for granted what's in front of us, in the sense that some of those games that the Reggae Girls won, it came down to the players themselves and their individual brilliance. For how much longer can we ride off on those luck? Do you see what I'm
But
saying?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and so you hear me. So I'm in a group where with a bunch of anti record girls people, and it's like,
Oh,
yeah, and there's like, I'm fighting the battle. A bunch of anti record girls people, and certain things I'm put into light, right? And it's like, I think, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
And I because after what happened with the whole, with the whole, I'm the backer. And I was like, guys, let's just move on. You know what I mean? You're from that. You know, we just pass on down. Let's just move on. Some of them still hold it against the girl, especially Bonnie. A few of them, yeah, so them just hate Bonnie, then just literally hate her.
Where does the
And I'm
hatred
being
come
like,
from? This is the first
little,
time.
I'm trying to tell you, man, there's a bunch of folks out there that just, you know, when you mention I'm the ladies, I thought because of what happened. And I'm like, yo, we're starting a new leaf that's gone. To me, both sides did something kind of, I mean, it wasn't handled properly, right? It wasn't handled properly,
Yeah,
right? Let's bygone be bygone. Let's move forward, right?
absolutely.
And I watched your program the other day. You know what I mean? I agree with you with 99% of what you were saying, right? With the captaincy stuff, right? The poor girl, if I even know, them just throw it upon her, right? And I mean, like, I mean, I understand. A new coach come with new this, new that. To me, nothing was never discussed. Hey,
Never.
you're not gonna be the captain. I'm gonna give it to so and so, right? And
And
to
you know
tit for
what,
tat. Go ahead.
Mr. Lee, sorry to I'm gonna let you continue. Sorry to interject, but this is where I'm looking at Busby and I'm kind of eyeing him because I think we don't need the Reggae Girls. This is why I'm glad I don't have that relationship where people give me information. I never want to be in that position. But it's
Stay
quite clear.
neutral.
Yes, I don't want to know because I like being able to think freely, you see? And
Because people is gonna leak out what they want you to leak out. It's like you know what they want to leak out, and then you're gonna look like you know what I'm saying?
But I think it's quite clear that these girls, to an extent, it does seem like they've stood by certain coaches in the past. And one of
Mhm,
those coaches I think is Hubert Busby. And I think,
mhm.
this is why I asked the question and I said, Mr. Busby, are you being influenced? Do you run your yard or do you run around it? Because I feel like he's being influenced. And if he is being influenced, then that's unacceptable because of how much he would have been through with these crop of reggae girls.
Yes. So another thing I was talking to some of my people about, right? And I was listening to you is about the lack of advertising the game. I understand, right? That it's the men's teams that's carrying the program, right? But the game in France the other day, and I was listening to you guys, right? And there was not one Jamaican flag in the stadium. And I know there's a lot of people in England, you know, probably would go over and you know what I mean, you know, I'm, I'm not saying you know for waste a whole heap of money advertise the game, right? Let's put it on YouTube. Ask YouTube man them, you know, if you do it, right? Or something. You understand? Make the fan them know about it. Who? You know, and you have some folks and just negative against the girls, just negative, negative, negative. Oh my God. Man. It's ridiculous, yo. Hello? Crystal?
Oh my God, I was on mute. I am so sorry. I'm glad you picked up on that because I actually asked the question. I went back and I looked at the game and I said, guys, can you actually see can you see any Jamaicans in the stadium? And that's bizarre because France is literally right on my doorstep.
Yeah.
You
And that's
know,
how, you know, by bringing that up to people, even in my group this evening, right? A man,
yeah,
you know, a man posts it, and you know, I'm gonna start talking about it again, and it starts a big argument. Well, here's something that I discovered by being in a few groups, right? Here's what I understand, and this is one of the things with us Jamaicans. There's a few people who know a few people who live in the same area where a few people live, right? To them, these people can do no wrong, right? To them, these people are so righteous they can't do no wrong. And when you point out stuff that these people do, they find an excuse. Let me tell you something. I mean, I have no friends inside the JFF. I don't live next door to anybody. So I'm not friends with anyone. Right? So when
yeah,
people call out some of the shenanigans, all right. Do you remember when the incident because I listen to these guys come on YouTube, you know, and talk, you know. When the incident went down, right? And the girls them, you know what I mean, them boycott thing, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
situation should have been fixed. You should have get all the adults in the room and sit down and fix it. Let's sit down and fix this stuff, right? Okay, this was done, this was done. Let's sit down and fix it. But instead of us fixing this, let's take sides. Let's hold on to our cards. Let's get these let's get some replacement girls. No
Yeah.
disrespect to those girls, but it never worked. It backfired, right? It backfired because the plan was to throw away all these girls, throw away
Yes.
all of them. No,
Yes.
I'm not saying that I agree with everything that went down. No, I am not. I'm saying both sides handled it wrong, right? And it should have been fixed decently. No one getting their feelings and buckle on and buckle on and buckle on, right? Let's sit down and iron this out. It's about the program. It's not about me. It's not about you. Let's fix it. But okay, you want to play hardball? I'm going to play harder ball than you. And that was where it was.
100%. 100%. I just think there's a lot of spiteful attitude towards the girls, and I just want like, and it's so crazy because I think it's literally one person in the high echelon of the Jamaica Football Federation pulling the strings, and I think much of what you said there, and I caught up on a lot of what you discussed in terms of some of the things that we saw on social media, namely YouTube, and the way some of the dare I say content creators treated the Reggae Girls. I have my own reason why they were treated like that. I feel like there is at least one person from the Jamaica Football Federation whispering in certain people's ears and giving them false information, blind loyalty and so on. But so what? I just feel like as individuals, you can think for yourself. You can think for
So
yourself.
exactly what you said, Krista. I don't mean to cut you off. Exactly what you said. So I was speaking to an individual who claimed he knows the top man in the JFF and they live next door to him and blah blah blah. And he was saying I talk to them Monday every week and blah blah blah. And Mr. Listen to me, man. Right? Here's the problem. That's how we so messed up, right? Not because you know somebody and he might tell you something doesn't mean it's the truth, right? Hear both sides of the story before you jump on one side, right? And so it's not gonna get any better because me know this person, me live next with this person. I eat that girl, I lie the girl in my tell, and the girl them for good. Take for instance, right? When Bonnie Shaw was creating all these records, right? Hat trick, right? Player of the month, player of the week, player of this, player for that. She should be on the JFF website, right? Highlight her, use her to market the program. But instead, they get in their feelings and they don't. They just push her to the side. It's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. So when I bring this up to people, I say, listen, the little boy and the little girl stuff, it needs to stop. Just put her up and highlight her. Use her to highlight the program. Use her for drawing sponsors. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I 100% agree. Me and you are singing from the same hymn sheet because Mr. Lee, just the other day, Bunny, finished 15th place in the Ballon d'Or, right? Where we're talking about on the women's side of the game. What did the Jamaica Football Federation do to celebrate that? Aside from a collaboration post, which was not done by themselves, led by themselves. What have they done? And that's no easy feat because growing up, I don't know about yourself, Mr. Lee, but I was not privileged to seeing Jamaicans in the conversation of being nominated for Ballon d'Or, let alone back-to-back Ballon d'Or nomination. But they don't even highlight that. They don't parade around her.
Yeah, I remember this very same argument last year. Earlier this year. A blogger decides to know this is wrong. And decides to start call around and call 3 persons in the JFF and nobody answered. Because he was on the screen and he was talking about it, doing a live show. And he said, no, man, this is slackness. No, right? There are people on it who's not even playing, who's injured. And them can't put she with the planet. This is the 3rd African in a row. And them can't highlight her. And he called this person to answer. He called this next person to answer. And he called this person, none of them to answer. The very next day, these guys was on somebody else's show. But the point is, right? Just why not blacklist the girl because of that? This is childish, man. So the following day, them asked who do that. They said, no, it's not this person responsible. It's this next person, and this person have to get permission from the JFF to do it. It was just so much foolishness. So much foolishness. Oh my God, Crystal.
She is being blacklisted. I think Bunny's been blacklisted. I think Alison's been blacklisted as well. And it's funny enough because when I sat here and I spoke to people like yourself, Mr. Lee, and the guys in the comment section, I don't know if you know, but today, because JFF think that we're all born big. So today I noticed that when they were pushing out the content about the Reggae Girls, they had Alison Swaby leading the promo for the first cover of their graphics. And I just thought it's quite odd now, given that we're questioning why Alison Swaby didn't wear the captain's armband. Again, big up to Vian Sampson. We love Vian Sampson. We love all the girls. But in the absence of Khadija Bunny Shaw, for what it's worth, we were always led to believe that Alison Swaby is the vice captain, so she should have done the captain's armband, but she didn't. But here we are some days ago having discussed it on social media. They're now using Alison Swaby's face to help promote the South Africa game. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I just hope that they can just put that behind them because I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy. Also, I listen to your show again too, right? The second window was a missed opportunity, right? For for other games, right? I think they should try and get every window from no one, right? And try to get some games in. Also, those two games against Brazil and France, it was about the money, right? And those
Yeah.
teams have blood on them eyes for us. They really want to have a revenge, right? I understand that these games are about the money, get the money, but they need to have serious practice games, right? They need to have some practice games of against some teams outside of the top 10, right? I understand, it's always good to play opponents stronger than you, but sometimes right, you need to play a team that's not so top ranked, so coach can get his tactics right. Because to be honest with you, a game against a France and a Brazil with not on the right team, he really can't get his tactics right. He really don't know what he's doing because France come to murder us, right?
See,
Brazil come. Go ahead.
I show her 32. Missy Wendy, I show her 32 when she scored the brace because Wendy they had belly for us because of what happened at the World Cup, but thankfully the goal was chalked off.
I told you that's what they do. They come with blood in their eye. Coach Bubsy knows it too. He even
Yeah.
say that they have set up, they have kind of a revenge. Brazil have it too, right? And they give it 2-4 love, right? But that was that was a money game. It still wasn't all the stars there, right? But what? They do not care. They just wanted to get back at us. They wanted to get back at us so bad. France wants to get back at us. Oh, you said the girl, guys. I didn't watch the game. I was listening to you. You know what I mean? And while the game was going on. Okay. So you said the girl, the what now? She put out the 32.
Missy Wendy, I show her full 32, Mr. Lee. I was so upset when look, I love Wendy Renard, but I wasn't happy to see her full 32 on my screen in front of me. I was like, what are you smiling at? It's not funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it was a revenge. Go ahead, baby.
Wendy was she was born in the Caribbean. You know that, right?
No.
Like a bit like Alexander Lacazette. Yeah, they have
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah, so she was born in Martinique.
Okay, like Thierry Henry and them. All these guys were born in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I
So
think Thierry Henry, I'm not sure if Thierry Henry, but I know like a lot of them were born in the Caribbean and then moved there. But you know what though, as we were saying though, right? We just hope that these guys can turn a picture, can just let bygones, you know what I mean, and be bygones, right? Pick a team based on who deserve to be there, not by who's loyal to a coach or not by who themselves a kick out, right? Also again, here's the next thing again. I'm gonna say I don't know whose fault is this, but there was a couple players, there's a couple of my people again. They were saying with Bunny Shaw thing, right? Not being able to play, right? Now I don't know about the visa thing in our passport if she traveled too much or whatever. Some people were saying it was other things that she owed taxes in France and it's not paid and blah blah blah, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? I just hope that you know what I mean, that can be sorted out. Is she available for the South Africa game? Or they don't say yet?
Well, Mr. Busby said that both Kanya and Bunny would be available for the Jamaica game. I mean, she can't have no passport limitation to come home. That's for sure. Them a come up with one
So,
new thing.
so yeah, that's the big one, right there. So, by the way,
I know
Kanya
again.
Plummer, where's she playing at now?
She is in Fenerbahce. She's playing. Our team is actually top of the league. I think it's like 6 games unbeaten.
I hope and when that girl finish, man, she get her coaching badge. That girl is something else, man. She's a breath
Yeah,
of fresh air, man.
yes, yes,
Kanye
yes,
Plummer, so they used to call her country. That girl, she's
yes,
been with
yes.
this program for, for so long, and I wish the best for her, right? I just want to see, that she continue with the program. After she finish, after she, hang up her boots, get her coaching license and come back with the program. These are some people who I take my hat off to. Then be with the program and then stay with the program through thick and thin. Even when she injured, she come right back.
And I'm glad you touched on that, Mr. Lee. I don't want to talk about Kanye's personal life, but I think for what it's worth, just because you've clearly placed some flowers there at her feet, I think adding to what you've just said, it's worth highlighting that she's also a mom as well. So she's a football mom. So she's perhaps without knowing her, she's clearly doing this for her and her son as well. So she's having a football playing career, professional football playing career, whilst being a mom. And I'm sure without knowing her, that's a tall task to manage. As I said, she's playing for Fenerbahce, also still playing for her country, and hats off to her. Long may it continue.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as you mentioned that, who I used to have mad respect for, Matthews. The girl that
So
she retired. What's her name again? Her name is Matthews. She
Shayna Matt,
retired, man. She was at the World Cup. That's what her name, right?
yeah,
I think she have 2 kids. She married. When I
yeah,
take my hat off to these girls, man, they come back and they give it all for Jamaica. They come. I mean, you gotta give it. You gotta give it to them, man. But I just want to see, the best player or the player like this young girl Soleil Washington. That little girl
yeah,
has so much a bright future ahead of her, man. I just I hope this
yeah.
is the best for that little girl, man. I think the next couple of weeks though, right? The next couple of months, I think we should watch and see what the coach is up to and see if the JFF keep on putting out these friendlies. You know what I mean? Like every window there should be something. Every window
Every
there should be something.
and it should be maximum games as well, not just one game. If we're supposed to have two games, it should be 2 games, not no half-hearted approach.
Yeah. But the last thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stay on with you though, but I'm gonna let you talk. But the CONCACAF region is starting to get tougher. I don't know if you watched the USA and Mexico play those last 3 games. It was not easy for USA. Mexico beat them in the Gold Cup 2-0 at home, right? 2-0 at home. They literally, is this Mexico? They literally, to be honest with you, Mexico should have scored like 5 goals. The goalpost saved 3 goals. Can you imagine that? 3 came off the bar.
Do you know what I think it is, Mr. Lee? It's like, I use Jamaica as an example. Whilst we can all sit here and embrace the successes of the girls, in particularly from the World Cup cycle of 2019, what that has done is that has inspired the whole entire region, especially where the Caribbean is concerned. So Haiti would look at that and say, I want some of that. If Jamaica can do that, so can we. And hats off to them. They should feel like that. But also,
and Panama.
Panama, Dominica Republic are looking at it and they said we pretty much all have a dot on our back. Like the girls have dots on their back, and people, clubs, like countries are gunning for them because they're basically.
Could you say that louder so everybody in the audience can hear that? And that's the thing we're trying to highlight to people. We are a target.
Yeah,
we are a target.
Definitely. Countries are gunning for them. They want to gun them down because if you're looking to qualify for Brazil 2027 and you beat Jamaica in a friendly, do you know what that does to your confidence? God forbid if you beat them in the championship.
Oh my God.
You're
oh my God.
Beat these girls. So every country that we play that rub shoulders with us as it relates to CONCACAF region and our friendly neighbors, they're gonna be hunting us down.
So check this out, Crystal. So during the qualifying for the last World Cup, right? 2020, right? You remember in Mexico, right? So it was Jamaica, Mexico, Haiti and the USA in the same group, right?
Mm.
And it was Canada, Costa Rica, and blah blah blah, right? So
Mm.
after we actually came second behind on the USA, we beat we beat Cuba, we beat Haiti 3-1. We
Oh,
beat
that,
is it 3-0 or 3-1? And we beat Mexico 1-0, right? With a header by Bonnie Shark. Can never forget that. That's like one of the biggest goals she scored international against
yeah,
Mexico in Mexico to beat them.
yeah.
And I remember at the World Cup, I was noticing 6 teams from CONCACAF, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Haiti beat Chile in the playoffs, and Panama beat somebody else in the playoff. And I think we
Yeah.
have Costa Rica there too. So it was
And
6 teams from CONCACAF, right?
came through
So
of
if
the
you go ahead.
Haiti, they came through because of the intercontinental playoffs, didn't they?
Yes, they beat Chile,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
They beat Chile. But so I was like 6 teams. So I got to understand those 6 teams. So the reason why the Gold Cup have those teams from South America over here, they came over. Normally they're not normally no, you know what I mean? They're not gonna come because they look down on CONCACAF, right? But
Yeah,
when teams from CONCACAF beat them, just like what the hell? That's why they
exactly,
came over.
exactly,
That's why they came over. And
exactly.
it was a missed opportunity, right? For the Reggae Girls. Panama
Oh,
make a good show of themselves there. Haiti make
yeah,
a good show of themselves there. I forgot who else make a good show. But the teams make a good show of themselves,
yeah. I
right?
mean,
So and no, Haiti never make it. It was the DR that stopped up Haiti. Haiti outplayed them, but couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
yeah,
During the qualifying, Haiti outplay them, outshot them, outdo everything. But guess what? Goals win game. That
yeah,
goalkeeper stopped like 50 shots, and they get
yeah.
one chance to score, and that was it. They shot it. Yeah. So they give a good, they give a good account of themselves too, right? But my only thing is this though, I want people to understand and say, do not sleep on teams in the region, because still, it's getting
No,
serious.
can't. Definitely, I think the girls know that. I think they can't. They can't fall asleep. You can't. You definitely can't because it is going to be. It could potentially be detrimental if we do. Naturally, I don't think the girls would underestimate their opponents, but they definitely can't afford to do that because people are breathing down their backs. And you just reminded me. I even forgot about the Gold Cup that we didn't qualify for the Gold Cup. It's one thing we didn't qualify for the Olympics, but not qualifying for the Gold Cup. It's hurtful, and it could have been easily avoided.
Yes, yes, yes. But it's a learning curve though. But they got to understand. I hope everybody can be on the same page. And so what are we gonna do is keep calling out the JFF to make sure every window is fit, right? Every window, there's something going on every window, right? If it's even have a training camp or something together. But let me ask you this thing now. Money games, right? And
Mm.
the reason why I'm mentioning this to you, um, the men's team used to do it. I remember Schaefer when he was in charge. That was when I started to pay attention to it. Jamaica was going to play South Korea, all the way in South Korea, right?
Yeah,
And say the game is due to be played. The game is due. The game's supposed to be played tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, Friday. Players
yeah,
are just now. Players are
Hmm.
just now flying into South Korea, right?
yeah, yeah,
Just now flying into South Korea, half the team. Like you have a 25-man squad, right? You
yeah,
have 6 there from Monday, and next 5 travel. I mean, listen, the game is on Friday, right? And
yeah.
Thursday morning, right? A few players just arriving, traveling from airport to airport to airport, right? And so we
Mm-hmm.
end up getting, I don't know if you remember that game. We end up getting 6-0 from South Korea,
Hmm.
right? And some other games and other games. When I ask the coach why, he say it's
Hmm.
right, it's a money game, right? And they
Hmm.
need the money. And then we keep on falling down the rankings because these players got there, But the reason why I mentioned that to you, playing these money games, right? When I say these money games, right, these big teams, like what we're
Yeah,
doing in France today, I know we need the
fun.
money, but don't
Yeah.
you think at some point we have got to stop doing that and try to fix the team?
I think that's a great comparison, and this is why I've gone back to like opening the lines so that I could because I might look at things one way, but it's inevitable that someone like yourself would see things differently. And this is not something that I even thought of. So thank you for bringing it to our attention. No, I do agree with you. I think it's about balance. I think, of course, for the girls, they are now reaping from they're now embracing the fruition of their years of hard work, their dedication, on a personal level and on a club and international level. So, back in 2019, if anyone had told us that in the future we're going to be drawing with France at a World Cup and Brazil's going to want to play against us, we would have laughed and say that's not happening. Right. So I think they deserve to be where they're at right now. And so that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't say no to a game against the likes of Brazil or France. But I think you're right. For someone like Coach Busby to really get his claw into this team, he's going to need to play against games that he's rubbing shoulders with, neck and
There
neck.
you
So
go.
yeah,
There
he
you
needs
go.
a team where he can really coach a full 90 game of football without thinking of other things. And yeah, that's something that they need to explore. As I've said on my channel, I think I'm not in favor of solely just playing against European opposition. I think we've got to mix it up. I think we need to play against Asian teams like your South Korea or your Japan, because they've got a different style of, they'll play you off the park. For
But don't
yeah.
get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with getting the money, right? But if you're getting the money and it's not helping the team, right? It doesn't make any sense. If you get the money, what I mean, just to pay bills, right? But you gotta say, okay, let me play I play what do you call it? Uh Japan, right? That's a top team. Let
Yeah.
me play a Dominican Republic, right? The next
Mm-hmm.
game I can play, like Scotland or so,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
a couple other game though, right? And you can play a USA. But when you play teams where your coach can't get these teams are overrunning you, they're behind, he just cannot get his tactics right. So you're gonna
Mm.
play a team, as you said, that you can rub shoulders with. But every now and then, right? When you can go for
Oh,
a big money game, right? But
oh
you
yeah,
have to figure out a balance.
I agree.
But hold up. So this is something that I want to discuss with you. I don't know if you remember how long you've been watching on the latest program. You
Mm.
remember when the football was around? You used to have team like China, U.S., Norway, Germany. You remember the 1999 World Cup? I don't know how old you
No,
were.
I don't even have any memory of 98, Mr. Lee. So I will not sit here
Okay.
and
So
I will
1999, right? The game was supposed to be in China, but
yeah.
they have a disease coming out called SARS. So they move it onto
Oh,
the US. As a matter
interesting.
of fact, the last game, the warm-up game before that World Cup, China beat USA in USA.
Yeah,
China was hot, man. China have a girl named Sun Wen. China would ball everybody off the park, ball them off the park, right? They
yeah.
would ball everybody off the park. It was just China. It was four teams. Norway, I think Norway won the first one.
Mm.
Norway, US, Germany, and anyway. But I'm just trying to show you something. And the, the USA won that one on penalty in the USA, right?
Yeah,
Japan, I mean, China played. I mean, anyway. Then I think Germany won the next two World Cup. You're back to back. And
yeah.
then USA took over and they just become a dominant force.
Dominant force. Yeah.
Japan came on the world scene. And I'm trying to show you something, right? Japan came on and they were dominant, right? Germany is just gone. I mean, but the team that I see right now at the under 20 and under 17, that's kicking ass. It's North Korea.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
They
I'm telling
bust up
you.
the USA yesterday, and the under 20 bust up on the USA and Spain. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, literally, if you watch the game yesterday with the under 17 play the USA, they
Yeah,
dominate.
those
Go ahead.
teams They don't play about like they one thing about and this is why I made reference to those Asia teams. They're like your say for example your Japan. They are about their business. They see the business side.
Yes.
They're about then you're not going to embarrass them. I watched
Look.
I watched the last women's World Cup, and I was
Mhm.
looking at like teams from Asia, and I was just looking and saying to myself, they are so disciplined, like they're playing you off the park, like you can't
And they're
even
not afraid of you. They're not afraid of you.
they
They
breathe
tackle
down you.
you. They
Yeah.
put it on you. But
Mm-hmm.
just to see these girls, even after they score against the USA, they control the game even in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's when the USA normally come strong. If they trailing, the last 15 minutes, they dominant.
Yes.
North Korea have the ball the last 10 minutes and they were going for goal, shooting. They're not playing. Listen, they have the ball in the USA final third with the last 6 minutes of the game. And,
Yeah.
and USA could not get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just showing now that teams are changing and football is getting better and teams are changing, right? And I'm
100%.
looking at it, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
100%. 100. Right now, I don't even know if I would fancy a game against South Korea is one thing because we played against them already, but I don't know if we can manage a game against Japan. Because at one point I thought Japan was gonna go all the way and win the FIFA Women's World Cup last year.
But what it is though, certain teams gotta play certain teams a certain way. But just as I'm saying, right, to see, what I mean, North Korea, even though, what I mean, these teams, the team has been together, right? Most of these girls been together since they were kids, right? 7, 8,
Yeah,
9, 6, 7, and they
yeah,
train together. There's nothing wrong with that. This is how
yeah,
they do it, right? But to see them, not the first time, this is the second because the under 20, North Korea won it, and they beat up USA, and
yeah.
the under 17 come and do the same thing. I'm telling you, they manage them, man
They
mark.
that's their DNA.
I was like, oh my God, they even surpass what your next team name? Um, Japan. North Korea surpassed Japan. That's to show you. But just to see how they beat up on the USA twice in a row. Crystal, we are one. Come on, man. Let me tell you, USA does not like to lose to you. And if they lose to you, they're coming with blood on their eye. And to see
Yeah,
North Korea beat them twice in a row, that telling you that something is going on down there. We need to take charge, but we need to
yeah,
look on this thing, man.
yeah,
But what I
yeah.
mean, I'm back to what you were saying. I like what you're doing. You're advocating for ladies football.
Thank
And one of the things I really like about you, as you said, that's what you said. Never say you say. You're not taking anything from nobody in the JFF. You're not friends with anybody from any source, and you
you.
don't take hearsay. Anything you get, you put out your source or whatever, but you're not getting anything from inside the JFF. So
Yeah.
I actually like that. So people cannot say you're biased, right? But I want you to keep on fighting for the ladies,
I
fighting for the program. Go
I
ahead. I'm
feel
sorry. Go ahead.
of energy, but people like yourself and the guys in the comment section, you guys definitely keep me going because at times I'm like, can't do this. This is mentally exhausting, but no, it's worth it though.
Yeah, a lot of us sometimes, because sometimes I'm always at work, what I mean, I get off early tonight, and sometimes I engage with you, sometimes I use a different, engage with you going back and forth, right? But sometimes, you have to say what's on your mind, and I notice you that you don't deal with the controversy stuff, right? You're not putting up headlines to make a money. You understand? And so this one thing would turn off people. But I am a fighter for the girls. I'm an advocate, what I mean, for the girls, and I am not gonna stop, believing in the girls. I don't care who go or the player. I just want
Yeah,
to see the girls go there and play, right? And you know, let bygones be bygones, right? There was wrongs done on both sides, right? The stuff wasn't handled properly, right? Jamaica
100%.
come first. And I just hope that we can just put that all behind. And those, if just put that behind them, man, and just support the girls, then, man. Support the Jets and support the girls, and move forward. Let
I
bygones, let bygones, they bygones.
I think you're right. I hope that does happen. I mean, I can't tell people how to run their channel. I'll never tell people how to run their channel. But one thing I will say in terms of people that take information from people either close to the JFF or connected to the JFF, a bit like what you said, like you can't take if you're gonna take information, take it with a pinch of salt, and always like question things like, why are you coming to me? Why are you telling me something? One thing I've learned from working in the football industry, because as I said, I studied sports journalism, and I was very fortunate to be working in the football industry literally before I even graduated uni. One thing I've learned is a thing called blind loyalty. And I only knew what blind loyalty was when someone sat me down and explained certain things to me. And I was like, wow, blind loyalty is dangerous, guys, because it can lead you to a dark and lonely place. And when people are finished using you, they will treat you like Wrigley's. Once you run out of flavor, they will spit you out. So be mindful of. No,
You know
it's
what,
true.
Crystal? The guy, I'm gonna look up two things I want to look up tonight. I'm gonna go in and Google blind loyalty and
I
Google biasness. Now I'm gonna go in and look at that because
I know,
you're
Mr. Lee.
saying something to me which is happening so often. When you say when you devil, you then spit you out and chew you out. So that's
They
my
treat
homework for tonight.
they trick you like Wrigley's, them chew you up. When Wrigley's nice and fresh and it
Mm,
start to get sticky and it's like rubber and you just spit it out. That's how people get treated in life. And one thing about me, when it comes to especially like mental health, I'm not afraid to go on that subject. I think my generation is changing that, thankfully. And a lot of the times the reason why I'm good at what I do is I'm speaking from personal experience. So as I said, me being young, fresh out of uni, I didn't know what blind loyalty was. I had someone sit me down a while back and they were like, how are you? And I explained certain things to them and they're like, Crystal, that's blind loyalty. I was like, what do you mean blind loyalty? And the more the person spoke, I didn't even need to Google it. I was like, wow, blind loyalty. Yeah. Google blind loyalty and you'll see just how dangerous that is. And that is why I say, I built my reputation on my channel based off just speaking how I feel. And, I've heard people say to me that I have like this third eye where I can say something that's quite accurate or as close as being accurate to the point where people think that someone's giving me information, but they're not. It's just because of my lived experience, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So, it's just, like I said, just keep on fight the fight, and like I said, you're gonna get pushed back from time to time,
yeah.
but as long as what I mean, and what you're doing, what you're doing, because I didn't see you for a while, like, we, what one tell her, you just disappear for a little while, but I get to understand certain things. But I'm glad
Yeah.
you're back out here, man. Just take your time and go on,
Thank,
do your thing, that them say, one cocoa full basket, you're gonna
thank
build
you.
back your fan base, man. Just take your
I
time
know.
and
I know, I wish I could share certain things with you guys, but what I've noticed is, and it's not even my community or other content creators, I noticed that other people that, like I said, that don't even belong to the community, they're not part of my subscribers, they're not other content creators, they're just people who are like tuning into the live stream to be nosy. So I realized certain things. I'm like, okay, I can't share certain stuff with my viewers and subscribers because it's being listened to by people that I don't really want to share certain personal information
hmm
with. Does that make
hmm
sense?
yes, I got you.
So
I
that's
got
the
you.
reason I don't say certain things. I have said to the guys that look, I'm more than willing to talk about certain stuff in my on my members channel where not everyone's going to come into my members channel and I could be a little bit more relaxed. But
So
on
there's
this,
okay. So you have another channel,
I
a
have a
members only channel.
yeah, I have it's still Talawa TV, but it's just a members only channel where I just
Okay,
speak
I'm gonna
about
look at it. I'm gonna look for that then and see. Okay,
I
where's the
think you
link
have
for
to
that one?
uh,
It's in this link.
let me show you on screen because a lot of people don't actually know how to find it, and I'm not even sure how to tell people other than showing it to them. No, seriously. I think someone asked me a while. Rochelle is like one of my subscribers, and she's managed to find the link. I'm not sure if the guys on my screen can see what I am showing them, but basically to find my members channel, you have to like literally go over onto like maybe through Chrome and you can see where it says join. and click on join my members channel. And yeah, that's where
Okay, I'm
I
gonna look it
like
up when I get in on the computer because I'm on the phone.
stuff. And yeah, and I'm a bit more relaxed with my members channel because I can keep people up to date. Because of course, with my subscribers, I want them to know like certain stuff, especially when I'm missing. I don't want to make people panic, you know. I want people to know what I'm up to and so on. But I can't do that with these type of live stream. Too many nosy people out there, Mr. Lee, you know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, though, I think but you got to understand that this thing it becomes a business for some people, and so when you are put out something that they probably because I don't see you push out a headline that's gonna grab attention, right? That's other people do it, and so I really don't mad at anybody. It is just the way the world is nowadays. Everybody is doing what they do to catch money to make money, and I am
Yeah,
not because if I'm gonna go like I was telling somebody this, that we going after these bloggers and I fight them and I argue with them because of headlines that they do, and there's
mm-hmm.
people who do worse than them, and I would just turn a blind eye, right? So
100%.
I let everybody do just do what they do. If you want to go on the channel, it's up to you. If you don't want to go, don't go on. But just I just leave it alone. You understand? I just leave it alone. I just go to who I want to go to and listen. To be honest with you, I listen to everybody and take sense from and pick sense from nonsense, right? There was also one that I used to be cool with, and then I just not cool him no more, and then I start going to the blues. I call him, and I mean him
Yeah,
reason, and I show him my point of view. I mean him reason, and we talk almost every week, and I want to know anything on the ground. I will call him, I'm
yeah,
in Jamaica. I call him and go link him, but I say I disagree with your point of view, but at the end of the day, we just can't hate each other just because I disagree with your point of view. You understand?
absolutely, absolutely.
There's somebody there, there's somebody there. In terms of you in England, right? And I noticed the bulk of our players is coming from England, right? Um, top girl that we have right now is Bonnie Shaw playing for Man City, right?
Yeah.
Which other top club do we have another girl playing for?
Top club. That's a depend. I feel like top club is subjective. Um uh,
All right, in the WSL, right? I know you have
we
Bonnie.
have
You
Liverpool with
have
Taylor Hines.
I'm sorry.
We have Liverpool with Taylor Hines, new defender.
Mm-hmm. Taylor
Um
Hines. Okay, yes, we were talking
yeah,
about it
Taylor.
yesterday.
We spoke about Taylor Hines. We've got Spurs, Tottenham, and they have Drew Spence and Rebecca Spencer.
The two
We
Spencer over there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. In WSL, we also have Leicester City. This is what I'm saying. It depends on what you call a.
No, 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 no. So that league is a big league. So how many players do we have playing in the WSL?
Good question. Currently, let me think. So we got Bonnie with Manchester City. WSL, we have Taylor Hines with Liverpool.
We got
We
the two
have
Spencers.
Yes, Rebecca Spencer and Drew Spence with Tottenham. We have Chantel Swaby with Leicester City.
Oh,
These
she's
are
at Leicester. Okay.
Yeah, she moved from SC Fluhy, so she's now at Leicester City. Let me look at that WSL, and we also have some other girls there in the championship as well. Let me try and see if I can bring up the WSL, but there is and then of course we have
So we at
teams in
least have at least I want to say we at least have 6 to 8 girls in the top in the
yeah,
top
yeah,
flight,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
in the championship probably another 6 girls, right?
We have a host of girls down in the championship. We have girls from all over, like literally
Yes, in England, and I know in the USA now in the way you call it league, right? There's a couple again, right? There's a lot, and in Mexico, I think we have 3 playing in Mexico.
Yeah, we have like Konya is in Mexico, Chinilu Asher is in Mexico,
Jody
um
Blackwood, I think
um ch- um
Blackwood and Jody Brown. Am I correct?
yeah, Blackwood is in Mexico. Sorry, I just said Konya Plummer. No, Konya Plummer is in she's in Fenerbahce. My apologies. Blackwood is what I was getting confused with. Blackwood is in Mexico and
I think
Chinilu.
Jody Brown went to. Am I correct? Jody Brown went to Mexico too.
Jodie's in Benfica. She's in Portugal at the moment.
Oh,
She's
she went to Benfica. Okay.
went straight from FSU, and so Benfica is her first professional contract. So she's with Benfica,
And she
and
graduated, and she, that was the next thing too. She graduated too, right, with honors, right? And I don't
yeah,
think did they highlight it on the JFF thing? I think they did. I'm not miss. I'm
while
not. I
this
don't want to say.
abroad, me no want nobody come hunt me down. So, but I'll leave you to decide that one. Whether
No. I was trying to. I think that they did. But she, in the final game, I think she scored a hat trick. And I think she also, what I mean, graduate. So that's a good thing right there, right? She have a degree, right? And she have a professional contract. You can't beat that. She
nah,
have one thing can fall back on. That's not.
smart girl, very educated.
So it's fair to say now that we have players around the world
Last one.
playing in top leagues,
Yeah, definitely.
and this experience now, can rub off you know, on the youngsters them at home, and
Yeah,
I see things that take a time and shape up, and just like I say, we're not gonna be like a Team USA the next 2 years or 3 years or so, right? But
yeah.
if we just respect the program and everybody respect the program, I think things will happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna take some doing because 9 months without being in camp. Obviously they wouldn't have been in camp for 9 straight months, but there are abouts missing out on Olympic qualification, missing out on gold. Because this is why I said, a sports psychologist is absolutely needed because that's a lot that those girls would have gone through. A lot, so they need someone to talk to get over any potential mental blockage.
And I just hope that at the end of the day, everybody can just sit down and say, I hope the coach going in with a clear mind, fresh this, fresh that, and well, let's watch the next window and see if these two girls come in, and and see what goes from there. I just want the best available, the best players to play for the girls, what I mean, and for the team. I would need to start to build that chemistry from now on. To build that chemistry from now, because CONCACAF is not going to be easy. I'm telling you right now, we have a bullseye on our back, and I just hope that the JFF seat, the coach seat, and the players them seat, right, and
Mm.
realize that boy, this is some serious stuff, man. Yeah, man, it was nice talking to you tonight. Every night if I'm off, I'll try to come on. And when
Thanks,
you get
so
your phone number back up, man, get the number back up, man. But I will, if I can come on, I will try to comments. Sometime, I'm at work. I just give the like and gone back down work, man. All right.
no,
And then
appreciate
come
Mr.
off and go and listen in the comment station. All right.
Have a
Everybody,
good.
big up on yourself.
All right. Okay, that was Mr. Lee. It's nice. I love when you guys come onto the show. You add a different type of energy. So thank you for popping onto the show, Mr. Lee. Thank you to you guys there in the comment section for still rocking with me for, let's call it 2 hours and 30 minutes. You should be familiar with the face in front of you, but in case you aren't, you are looking at Mr. Philip Beckford. Mr. Beckford, how are you, sir?
I'm not. I'm not bad.
Yeah, are you coming
Good night.
home from work? You just reached.
Say good night or good morning. In some
Oh,
places,
good morning for me. It's 3:28 a.m.
uh, it's almost daylight. I don't know if you plan to sleep again.
I don't. Do you know what I plan on doing? When this stream finish, I'm so disgusted with myself. I cooked some curry goat and some white rice earlier on, and I'm planning on going to eat that before I go to sleep. I probably shouldn't. It's a bit heavy. But that's what I have on my mind right now.
Okay, I understand. Curry goat and rice.
Curry goat is one of my favorite things. I love curry dishes. It's one of my favorite things to cook, and seafood. I love like steamed snapper with your okra and your potato, and so yeah, those are like my favorite dishes. But everybody knows me, at least maybe twice a month I want some. If you leave it to me, I'll probably do it every single weekend, but no, it's expensive. But yeah, curry goats always has to be on the menu. My favorite.
Well, those are good stuff. They are good stuff, so I understand.
Yeah. So
And
how are you, sir? How
I'm doing, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. What's your
Um,
thought on, or like what's your thought on what's been said?
honestly, I didn't get all of it. I joined late, and then I get busy with something else, and then I missed out a lot again.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to really start from. So
Um,
uh,
trying to see if I can help you. Sports psychologist. I'm not sure if you caught on to the sports psychologist, which was basically the main focus of tonight's show. Basically me saying that I think the girls need to the JFS should give the girls a sports psychologist because of the benefits pertaining to the mental benefits that comes with having a sports psychologist. You know, you're gonna have those days where the girls probably come into camp and they're feeling under the weather, maybe because of things that haven't gone according to plan at club level, maybe because of personal matters in regards to their personal lives and so on. And subsequently that can have a knock-on effect as it relates to their performance. You know, as I said at the start of my stream, I believe in terms of success. In order for one to be successful, you need to be ready for success. So, for you to be ready for success, your mind has to be well conditioned and you have to be in the right mental frame of mind. Does that make sense?
totally, it does. I didn't look at it in such a wide scope, but I'm guilty sometime of looking at players and probably players that I expect to perform at all time and was upset because of the performance. But I ignore the fact that they are human beings just like us, and apart from they are trying to perform on the field, they have a life and they have their struggles, they have their challenges. Yes, they are earning loads of money and way more than me and a lot of other person, yes. But the fact still remain that they have issues. We
100%.
often tell for the fact that they have issues, they have issues behind closed doors. So they probably say no, they have money, so everything must be perfect. They look happy, yes, they look happy on the pitch. But what about when they come off the pitch? They end up going back to that world where it's chaos. Because
100%.
I'm gonna use one player from Mice, from City. For example, Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what?
as of
Continue, Beckford. I'm gonna grab my charger. I don't want I don't my laptop to die on me. Okay, but actually, just give me maybe less than 10 seconds. I don't want to miss what you have to say. Okay,
okay,
thank you.
that was fast. 10 seconds.
Oh my god. Oh well, that was wasted. Guys, my charger has just broke on me. Yes, guys, my charger has just broke. Look at that, guys. I don't
Just
know.
broke. Just
Yeah, it's broken on me. I'm gonna try and see if
wow.
I can fix it though. How the hell do I do that? Mm, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this, guys.
I mean, you can't glue, you cannot tape anything like that.
I don't think I can. Damn, that's never happened before. I think I got maybe 4 seconds. My battery's gonna die on me. Big up yourself, Jermaine Miller. You know you're right about that. That is so irritating. It's broken in the worst possible way. Oh my god, how the hell did that happen?
Damn technology.
You know
Technology and
what?
device.
I'm gonna have to buy a replacement, but I've got something else in mind. Hold on, I'll be back.
It seems like these things were made to disappoint you at the worst time. Technology.
I just know it's going to cost me an arm and a leg to buy back that bloody charger now. Oh my god. Happened to me before. Like, how did that happen? It's just my luck, isn't it?
I wonder if
Oh,
they make these things with.
I think Mr. Lee's back.
yeah, I'm back. Crystal, shame on you. If you always have two charger, a backup. Shame on you.
I
Big up
know
yourself, Carla. Big up yourself, big man.
it's my first time that this is. I'm actually quite shocked. I don't know what to do. It's not even fixable. It's not.
Shaka run out of power pan way. Shame on you.
I should be ashamed of myself for real. I am ashamed. Anyways, guys, we can continue. We can continue. Don't worry about it.
That's the unfortunate thing of technology. They always left you at the worst possible time.
You know, maybe
It's
some
like
soul.
they when they make these things, they make it that it always leave you when it's critically needed or crucially needed. It's like I don't know.
I feel like the JFF are responsible somehow. They're the reason for this. They're bad minding my live stream and
Somebody did it for you.
yeah, they're the reason why my charger broke live on screen. That is crazy. But continue on, Mr. Beckford, with what you say. You're saying something about Kyle Walker, right?
I think he's one of the perfect example to use. I mean, I see games where I wonder if Skywalker his brain is in his head, or is he really? It's just his body there, and he's just kicking the ball and doing anything he wants to. Because I know we have that issue off the field with his I wouldn't say it's anyone's fault really, which he should blame himself, but at the same time, he still has an issue to deal with.
Yeah.
And it can happen to the best of men sometimes. It can happen to almost any man. And it's the reality that we as men should face that these things happen because they are humans being too. They score a goal and let us enjoy the ball of the football, yes. But not everyone of them might be emotionally strong. Not everyone of them might have their things in order, their family life, their personal life together. And so these things gonna affect their performance on the pitch, on the field. So yes, a psychology would probably help because speaking to a psychology and explain your problem, they can say, you know what, give you some advice so that you can take your mind off what's going on. Play your football game and then after you can go back or probably think about your left or right because it's still gonna be there. Anyway you take it, um whether you play or not, when the football game finish, the problem still exists unless it is solved.
100%. I think Kyle Walker, yeah, I think yeah, he's a good example as well, in terms of needing a psychologist. Whether people think that's deserved or not, irrelevant. But I think yeah, that's a good point. Mr. Lee?
Yeah, man. I listen to you, man. I listen to you. Sometimes you have to
Oh,
listen to you know.
okay.
Yeah, but as you said, brother, did you see when Mikel Antonio was giving a speech of what he went through
Yeah.
and him said playing
Um
for Jamaica make him feel much better, and he's now turn around and start to mentor other people, right?
was that
And
recently?
yeah, man, him do it probably about 6 months ago, man, and him say, you know what, that's why I have to respect him so much, man. People can say what they want about that guy, but when him on the field for Jamaica, him put out him heart for it, right?
Yeah, I
And
can confirm with
he,
that one.
people got through some stuff and we don't, right? And him went through some stuff, and him talk about it, you
I'm gonna
know.
play a snippet as to what he said. Basically, there for context, Mr. Beckford, picking back off what Mr. Lee was saying. Antonio basically spoke about, glossing over the fact that he, at the time when this interview came out back in May, that he announced that he broke up with his missus, so his wife, and I'm sure that was the mother of his kids, right? And he also touched on mental health. So I'll go ahead and play like a small little snippet for
I
you.
started therapy. In that period, I started therapy because I was really struggling. And how I grew up, it was never a thing. I thought therapy for crazy people, therapy for people who can't control themselves and stuff like that. But therapy changed my life. At first, it's awkward. I'm not going to lie. Literally, you sat in the room, someone's there and goes, "How are you?" And your natural response is,
Fine.
"Fine, I'm all right." And he's like,
End of the session.
so he's like, "So why are you here? Like, what's getting you down?" I was like, "To be honest, like, football. I'm struggling with football. I split up with my missus. My football was always my getaway from anything that happened in my life. My dad died and stuff like that. I went to football, and I could black it out for the 2 hours that I was there or the 4 hours that I was there. So I was just really struggling. And then I sat there and I spoke to him. And then I'm a person where I'd never cry. And as I was talking to him, I just burst into tears. It was uncontrollable. And I'm not going to lie, that gave me some type of relief because I normally hold everything in and push it down. And that gave me some real nice relief where I was like, oh, and then like my chest felt like clear. And I just done sessions once a week, every week, just speaking to him, trying to get everything off my chest.
So that is the interview there.
So as we ask
Yeah.
brother, hold away a man and we all go through stuff. You understand? Like how much money you have, we all go through it, you know?
Yeah, but you know me always hear this saying, say, more money, more problems. I cannot challenge that one because I don't reach here yet. But you know, I would have liked to speak to someone in that capacity and ask, is it really true? Because I've been hearing that saying for a long time now.
I've never, to be honest with you, I am not a rich person, but I've known somebody, I've seen some people who won the lotto, and I'm telling you, it's supposed to make your life better. Their life becomes worse.
Wow.
Their life become worse. Within 2 years, right? They lost everything. 3 to 5 years, you know what I mean? They lost everything. It's just they're married. I mean, just Google it, and this is a real life story. And these people, they can tell you it's like everybody knows they will everybody come with them hands out. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why if I win, no. I just nothing can go on. You understand? But it's a thing. Like, look, right? If you look on Michael Jackson and them people, right? And this is the stuff that they go through in public, right? And them have money. Bro, it is not easy, man. Look out on P. Diddy, all these people, right? Trump, all these people, right? They have money, they're billionaires. But they're going through a lot of stuff, man. You know?
I think Jesus P Diddy, that guy. Oh yeah, P
No,
Diddy's.
I'm just saying, I'm just a putting, those people with money, things,
I,
it's just a lot, just a
was I
lot.
going to do? As it relates to the topic of conversation, I think Bonnie's probably a good example. Obviously, we know she's not a millionaire, but I think even she definitely goes through a lot, because people probably assume that because probably people close to her probably assume that because she is a professional footballer, then she's on equivalent money to like the male players like your Leon Bailey, and that's far from the truth. Even for people who were just like, usual not people like myself overseas, people expect a lot from someone like me. And it's like, I'm just one person. I can't extend or overextend myself to take care of you. And people get upset when you're not able to do that. So I think someone like Bunny, you can understand, like, for what it's worth. I don't know about her personal life, but it would appear that she's not a mom. Saying that to say that, sorry, it's going to sound a little bit messed up, but for me, her sole purpose, sole responsibility should be her, and possibly like, like her mom, her dad, her
Yeah,
grandparents. But
yeah.
that's as far as it goes. It shouldn't be a case where Bunny Shaw, because she plays for Manchester City, has to take care of the whole entire
No,
community, their
no, no,
community. But
no,
probably have to.
no.
And
Are
it
you watching
probably,
the comment section, Crystal? Because I can't see it. You can't left you can't left them out, And make sure y'all keep them warm.
I am. I'm in highlight.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I'm gonna look Bunny Shaw. I need to see when her contract is up. Because I tell you, that goal that she scored against Barcelona 2 weeks ago. I don't know. if you watch the game. What's his name? Warren. What's the other person's name?
Oh, me.
Yeah,
Oh, Mr. Beckford.
Mr. Beckford. Did you watch the goal that he scored against Barcelona? Uh, 2 weeks ago,
I watch the highlights. Yes.
dude. So the reason why I was talking about that goal so much, right? So Real Madrid, I want to say 6 years ago. I don't know if you watch Champions League, Crystal. It was a team from the Netherlands. I think it was Ajax. I think beat up Real Madrid 4-1 in Spain. Do you know the following season, all those players, Barcelona bought them, all the top clubs bought them, right? Let me try and remember to what the guy's name. I think yeah, one of them right now is playing for Chelsea. Just bought him back from Atletico Madrid. I say this to say that um
So,
that goal that Bonny scored against Barcelona female team is a dominant female team, right? And to
Current
see them come at
champions.
City and City whop them up and she score. I'm telling you, all the coaches in Europe are looking at her. Her value just shoot up more. Her value just shoot up more if you score against a wicked team like that, right? So I want to know when her. I'm gonna look when her contract is up and
I
how much is
screen
she.
for you there. I brought it up on screen for you there, Mr. Lee, in terms of her contract. So it says here,
oh,
Manchester City Club is delighted to announce that, and this was last year, to announce that Bunny Shaw signed a 2-year contract extension. So basically, she's put pen to paper until 2026.
2026.
So
Um,
essentially, she's 2 more years with City.
they probably
I'm
try
sorry.
to keep her again.
I don't
Yeah,
want her to go.
of course not. Of course, you wouldn't want her to go.
I don't want her to leave at City because she have had so much value to the team. It's
Yeah,
just with
but
Taylor.
money
I'm
talks. You understand? Money talk, right? And I watched her score. I had her last week again, like 9 girls around her. And she like how she do that? She tall and everything, but 9 girls around her. I'm like, this girl is supposed to be on the JFF website right now. Marketing. You understand? She's supposed to be the face of it, right? Okay,
not
so Mr.
only that.
Beckford, go ahead.
Every match, every pre-match and every match, every after match. True, because she has been performing, and I'll be honest, she's one of the most consistent players for Jamaica on both sides. And if anyone don't agree with me on that one, they probably bias or they just they like division, because to be honest, it's time for us as fans to just look at the bright side and stop dividing and stop being um the one that are dividing the players and so on and causing
Hmm. I get what you're
bad
saying.
news.
And that's the reason why you're on this program, because you're seeing things the way we see things, right? Because I'm in that group, yo. These guys are anti-bunny, anti-female team, and every day me and the man are gonna argue, right? And
Because she's female.
bro, let bygones be bygones, right? What happened past are gone, right? But to see this girl, right? Yo, hat trick, hat trick, hat trick. Come on, man. Come on, man.
This
You know
is
what
the
I'm saying? Don't blacklist the girl, yo.
This is the first I'm hearing of like people having issues with Bunny. Because like you said, I was
Oh
away.
my God, man.
Like
Look, Crystal, man. Oh my God, man. You have something. I am telling you, right? I'm in a group with, and even today, we were going at it again. We were going at it, right? I hope she show up for them South Africa game. I hope all goes well and she show up for the South Africa game. Because at the end of the day, now, it's time it's either she's gonna be in the program or not gonna be. You know what I'm saying? But we
yeah,
just we have to stop this.
I can't see Bunny not being available for that South Africa game. Out they cannot come up with no excuse as to why Bunny can't take a trip to Jamaica to play against South Africa. And for what it's worth, I also want to know if she's still the captain. Because I feel like that's an unanswered question. Is Bunny
There
still
you
our
go.
treat her like
There
she's
you
the
go.
captain? They don't treat Bunny Shaw like she's the captain. So
So
I want to know
let me ask you guys
captain.
this question now, while we on the topic of captain. So the conversation came up, right? So if all of us right here playing a team, and then a coach come, and I'm Crystal as the captain, and Mr. Beckford is the vice captain, and now all of a sudden, 2 minutes on before a game, here Jay, okay, you're the captain. How would that look? How would that look to you as the captain? No discussion, no nothing, right? Another conversation I have with my team, right? Not saying it have to, but most teams, when the federation is going to choose a coach, they will get with the captain and the vice captain. No, not saying that they have to choose that, but they're telling you we're going this direction. This is the coach that we're gonna. They give the captain and the vice captain first, right? But to have the captain and the vice captain not involved in that, I think it's not a good thing. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that that they have to go in and make decision. No, in order to keep the chemistry, cohesiveness, crystal, coach also get fired, right? And uh, and we're looking at these two coaches. What do you think? What you think is not on what you want, right? But just that you're the captain and the vice captain, we're running this by you. That's how professional teams do it.
100%. 100%. I think, to answer your question, if that was me, if I am Alison, because Alison should have been actively the captain because she's the vice captain that we know of, right? Until pen further announcement. I would have felt some type of way about that. I would have been confused. I would have been hurt because I would have been coming into that game expecting to wear the captain's armband in the um um absence of Khadija Bunny Shaw. So I think you're right. A conversation should have been had, but Vian Sampson said that she was surprised to be given the captain's armband.
Now let's stick a pin. Let's stick a pin. We do not know if anybody listen. We do not know if there was a conversation happened backstage before. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Let's put that out there. That we do not. But the way she said it in the press conference is like there was no forehand discussion, right? So
Exactly.
hopefully there was some discussion, right? Okay, so Mr. Beckford, what's your thoughts on that?
Well,
I think
You
you're
go.
on mute.
you know, sorry. I took it off. I didn't know how it go back on it. I took it off, then I started talk. I'm sorry. To be honest, I don't know. I agree with what you said, but as I said, let us give them the benefit of the doubt. Saying but I didn't watch a press conference. I'm gonna be honest with that. So I cannot really draw any conclusion from that. I just would have to rely on hearsay, which is from you, right? So
No, it's
um
not from us. It's a press conference. There's a press conference that she did, and she said that because that reporter know exactly what she was doing. The reporter know why she asked that question, right? That reporter was mysterious. The reporter said, "So you the captain? That's you have to bring that out." And that right there, so you take note. If you were watching that damn press conference, you take note of that, right? When she said it was but when she said I was surprised, right? David Telly
you know
said there was
what
no forehand discussion with her, right? Yeah, here we
you know
go.
what
Might be it. Let me try and play it for
Here
you.
we go, Mr. Beckford.
Battery might die. I don't think it's gonna die just yet. But for context, guys, basically, yes, my charger did break. I read your comment. I know exactly what you mean, but it broke. Like it just completely. Can you see? Like
Yeah, man.
it's broken. It's bloody broken. Um, so I'm gonna play this for context, right? So Mr. Beckford understand what Mr. B is saying, okay?
Yeah, I think overall, considering the lack of preparation that we've had, I think we've had a good 3 or 4 days of training, and they responded well. Again, come up against a really good French team and in a really competitive environment. And I thought overall, as the game went on, the team got better. But yeah, I think these are the games that we want to play, and we have to just keep on building on what we want to do as we head into the next window.
Some of the objectives, I'm sure you had maybe a few going in. Uh, some of those met based on what you're working on long term and who you have at the moment?
Yeah, I think somewhere. I think overall, though, I think the ability for us to continue to have some cohesion. I think when you bring in new players into the group, you can see that there's a little bit disjointed. So the more that we can continue to be together and keep building as a group, the better we'll be. So as of right now, it's we kind of turn the page and get ready for the next window in Jamaica when we host South Africa, and then we look to build on the principles that we've laid this week, and look to correct some of the things that we didn't do as well in tonight's match.
What didn't work?
Well, I think everything else we tried some, looking to build a little bit more, and I think again just having some of the cohesive pieces and understanding and building relationships on the pitch are always really important. So when you bring in new players, getting a better understanding of how some of those players around you play will take some time. But as the game went on, I saw it got better, and I think one of the things the second half that I definitely wanted to see was their ability to compete a bit more, and that was better in the second half.
V, you were the captain of tonight. Talk to me about how that felt related to this.
It was a surprise for me, but a very welcome one. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that job and represent my country in that way. Despite the result, I felt like we gave a good show of ourselves against a very good opposition. So yeah, really, really happy to get the opportunity, but hoping to build going forward.
Yeah. Coach spoke about the short turnaround, but let's go to what would have happened in the match. We adjusted well for the most part, or could have done better.
We could always do better, but like you said, with the short time we were in camp, we had a few things to focus on, and I felt like we gave them a good try. And sometimes coming into these windows, the moment we're looking for is not now. It's a further down the line, a year down the line. So as long as we keep making steps every window, taking a bit from every game, we'll be where we need to be at the right time.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the current team we had, that starting 11, the substitutions, those on the bench, and like you said, even those set to come in?
It's always good to have new faces. We're always looking to build the team and improve in every way that we can. The core of the team is still pretty much the same. So it's just about gelling those relationships and building as a team. And every single person in this team matters. So it's everybody understanding that and being ready when their opportunity comes.
How you felt about your performance?
I did what I could in the game. I hope I led by example. I felt like I did. Just did my best, try and cover the spaces, covering for my teammates, get about the pitch, and I feel like I did that, but I'm always a critical person and I always want more.
So basically, there it is, Mr. Beckford. Hopefully you understand a little bit more. And I agree with Mr. Lee that the journalist knew exactly what she was doing with that question. I appreciate the question. I appreciate, but she knew exactly what she was doing.
Well, she have Mr. Busby stick up right there, because I
Yeah,
thought he
she
was
did.
losing.
Yeah, that was a good question though, and this is why I say like the JFF they try to be cute because Mr. Busby, Coach Busby spoke about the changes there internally in terms of bringing on the legend Dion Burton, and I thought if you can share an important information about bringing in Dion Burton, equally you can also make the announcement that you have a new captain in Vian Samson, but I think Busby intentionally avoided that because people would have said, but what about Bunny? And I think that there lies potentially another can of worms.
So that's take shortcut.
Yeah, but
He
he
tried.
got caught. he got caught because the journalist asked the important question, you know, to Vian about wearing the captain's armband. You have to ask these questions.
Yeah, no. I saw him reach for the water when the question was asked, and I was, oh,
Yeah. Yes, Busby
Yeah.
was probably sweating buckets. You know, people are onto him.
poor Mr. Busby. But I don't know. I don't know really what to say about Mr. Busby because he seems like probably the JFF to be on the JFF good side probably it is main focus because um he probably will get back the same old Busby. I mean, he was doing pretty well before the incident, but I don't want to dwell on that because that is the past.
Mm.
But I don't get the impression that he's really fighting for the girls. Like when a coach really take his job very serious and he's a no nonsense person when it come on to his players. Because at the end of the day, the governing body is JFUP, yes. But at the end of the day, your job is to coach these girls and ensure that there's cohesiveness in the camp at all times. Whether you bring in new
Exactly.
or whether old players is there, your job is to ensure that there's this cohesion at every time. Because without cohesion, the team will be disjointed on the field, and
Yeah,
they will
exactly.
be like headless chicken, just running up and kicking the ball and don't know what they're doing. Because people, it's time for us as fans to get a style of play from our coaches. We can't go in every game with the same mentality. Oh, we're gonna do this and that. We need a style. I mean, research teams before you play them. Look at their style of play. Come up with tactics, and I believe these tactics should be discussed with the players as well. This
In
is how we are
fairness
going
to
to
in fairness
team.
to Mr. Beckford, this was just a one game, right? And we can't judge him off this one game because this was a money game, right? And so to play, you know what I mean, your mighty France, in front of the home fans, the stadium, everything, without our strongest team, because even Juice Spence was injured too, right? And we never have Shaw, right? So the first game, we can't really say not much, but I do question the captaincy, how that went down. And that right there, so now the next game with Bonisha and them is gonna be because I'm watching to see what's gonna happen. But in fairness, though, we can't really question his tactics for the very first game because that was a giant task in front of him, a giant task.
No, that's why I said it's time for us to start to see.
Okay.
I wasn't really questioning his tactics. I'm just saying that sometimes you see a fall before it really happens sometime.
Yeah,
And in
yep.
fairness,
That me
and you
Christmas saying, yep.
look at someone impression and say, say this person start instead of that, make me watch him. You just watch it going up.
There is multiple comparisons to be drawn there, but I think if it continues, he's gonna find himself. Busby easily can find himself in some unfortunate and uncomfortable conversation because unless he starts to do what we want him to do in terms of putting his foot down and standing up for the girls, especially your trailblazers, he's gonna find himself in some uncomfortable conversations. And yeah, I can see it getting that way. And adding to what the both of you have said, the pressure is now on for that South Africa game. So you can't fool us with the next squad announcement. You can't fool us with the next press conference because people are going to be watching and wondering who is the captain. And if it's not Khadija Bunny Shaw, oh, that's gonna be making for a massive conversation. And also Alison Swaby. If Alison Swaby isn't the vice captain. Why? So they've set themselves up big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know if that was heard on the mic, but sorry. Anyway,
I don't
you're
think
right.
I heard. I'm not sure. I didn't hear anything though.
Yeah.
I got,
Okay, so Mr.
but
Beckford, right? Mr. Beckford, um, what do you hope for the program, say the next 20 months? What are you hoping to see?
To be all right, my long short term goal, I want to see progress because in anything that you're doing, if you remain stagnant, that means something is wrong. And I'm not saying that you cannot be stagnant at some point, but for how long? That's the big question. We want to see progress. It doesn't make sense we have something and there then we build a certain amount of momentum and then after something happen and just derail and just throw we are total track and then we gone back down to zero. That's not gonna bring us anywhere. We want to see progress being made, and we even when good new players come, it's like we want to make it seem as if no one didn't join because as they come, the cohesion is right there already because we already have a core of players that know their role, understand their role, and play according to their roles on the pitch. We want to see that. So, that World Cup performance, and even prior to that, we were having a good momentum, and then and that momentum that happened, it seems as if it was a Titanic, but something happened and just derailed it, and then we now back here trying to build back where we should have continued from. That's what I hate when we have a chance to continue something. Don't go back to square one because that is going to make our team decline and it's going to affect the team in many ways because we want to see us competing against the likes of um Japan, USA, Spain. When we play against these teams, we want to see competitive football. That's the level that we want to reach. We don't want to be always on the losing end when we play big sides like those that have their thing in order. We want to be watching competitive, entertaining match where we are ball big side and we are jump and I say yeah and we are clap and we are shout for girls and we see goal a score and some nice footballer play. They control the ball. We want to see possession ball game. We want to see beautiful attack leading to goals. Whether on the wing or through the middle of the park. We want to see our girls reach that stage where they are competing, not
So
just
let me ask you
participating.
this now. Everything you described, how far off that pace do you think we are?
I would say we were getting to there like halfway because, or even to par, because those performances in the World Cup, it may be shocking to some, but honestly, we stuck to the task and we did what we need to do because at that stage, draw would have brought us, give us enough points because of what happened with the other games. So we should be match aware and then look at what we need and what we want in a certain game. If it's to avoid a heavy loss, if it to participate and even come out with a stalemate, a result that's a good result. People probably think draw is a bad result. No, draw is not a bad result because when you draw with a team, it shows that you're as good as them or you can compete against them. So we want to see things like that happening, and we play according to what we want from the game, not just go there and block and so on, or defend right throughout the game. Yes, we defend, we counter, and when we have a possession, and make use of the possession. So I like to see when teams quick in transition and don't just passing the ball around and around and just nothing come out of it at the end of the day. We want to see an end product.
So I said it's the reason why I asked you that question, right? Have you
Yes.
watched the CONCACAF team apart from Canada and USA and see how good they are playing?
Yes, yeah, not all of them, but the few that I have seen before, it's a good while now, but I can still look at couple games and see where they
So
at.
I want you to look at the done rep, right? I want you to look at Haiti. I want you to look at Panama, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. Look at those five female programs. The last 2 years, look where they at. Um, look where they was, and look where they at now. Look where Jamaica was the last 2 years, and look where we at. and tell me if we're not in trouble.
We are in a lot of trouble, yes. But I have a lot of confidence in my girls that on the day they can perform and even outplay them. So even though I am worried that one part of my brain say me worried, the other part of my brain is saying, you know, so me confident that we can do it.
No, you said something with me. I agree with you with.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Christelle. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that
No,
is
no,
my
I was
honest.
agreeing with what you guys were saying. I was just smiling away and agreeing. You can continue.
So what I was saying to you, right? You were right. We have confidence and faith in our girls, but I cannot say for the ones who are leading, for the JFF, and I cannot say that I have confidence in them. We should know I'm not bashing them, but as me and Christelle was saying earlier, we need to use every window. Every window should be used. No window should go, you, unused, right? Because I tell you, bro, the other teams are spending money on their programs, right? They're
They're
getting
putting it.
better. They're getting better. They're getting better. Their programs is improving a lot. Panama is spending money on their program. Damara is spending money on their program. Guatemala is spending money on their program. No, I'm not saying you spend money, but that they're spending money, putting in infrastructure. No, I'm not saying that their program is the best in the world, but at least they're paying attention. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course, and they want to compete, so they are doing everything that is required of them to be among the best in the CONCACAF.
And guess who them have them eye for? Guess who they're using as an example? Jamaica.
They are, yes, because they know that USA and Canada they are I wouldn't say too far away, but they are the top teams,
Yes.
and and
No, let
and
me
I
ask you
believe
this. And let me ask you this
from
on a personal level. Did you watch the last two games against USA and Mexico?
I know, but I
So what I
think
would
I
love for
did
you to do, right? I would love for you to go and watch the Gold Cup,
I
USA
didn't
and Mexico. Mexico
did you
outplayed USA in USA. Beat them 2-0. Well, to honest to you, that should have been 5-0. Mexico had three shots came off the post. Three shots. They beat USA 2-0 in USA. Top team. Top team. The first team. Not no second string player. The top team. And then the next game, then play USA to go to the wait, it, it was the Olympic center, right? Them lose 1-0, right? I am telling you, bro, these teams are serious, man.
was it that same time when they play 80? Was it that during that same time you're referring? As I remember they played 80 and 80 did beat them 3-1, I think.
No, that was after that. No, listen, that's a New Mexico team, Papa. That Mexico team, yeah, Papa. Mexico and Jamaica. Yeah, listen to me, man. This is new and improved. New and improved, bro. So that was doing. I know what you're talking about. That was doing that was doing the World Cup qualifying, right? Where we beat them 3-1, 3-0, right? And we beat Mexico 1-0. That Mexico team, bro, is a total different Mexico team. Total different Mexico team, bro.
I'm
They beat
looking
the
them.
USA. Let me tell you again. They beat USA 2-0 in USA at the Gold Cup. They had three shots came off the post. You tell me if that's the same Mexico team to you.
Oh, I remember that match. I did see the highlights. I didn't at the
No, I
time I
watched
didn't
the
have
whole game. Dude, the whole game. They man mark the USA. Listen, they control the midfield. They control the flanks. They control the midfield. Those girls were running circles around the USA in their own country. Listen, it's not often you silence the USA in their own country, right? When the USA fans got turned to 70% of the game in their own stadiums, on quiet. That's not an easy feat. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
So the team them are improved. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree. They are improving. And even if they don't, there are 1 and 2 times where they will just upset the opponent. They come
That
to
was no
play.
upset, bro. That was no upset. That was a straight up ass whooping in your backyard.
And
Two
yeah, they
zero
win.
in your backyard, 2-0
And they
in your
come.
yard at the Gold Cup with your national team playing. Outplay you in a middle, outplay in a flank. If you see how the Mexican go, and you know what's so funny, yo? These girls actually grew up together, right? And the USA girls and the Mexican girls, they grew up together because them have a few girls from the USA, but they are Mexican, right? And they in the same academy and this and that, right? At the end, they were exchanging jerseys and talking and shit. But the USA girls, of course, they do not want to lose. They hate to lose. They were crying. They were crying. They get out. It was like, Crystal, if you guys can go back and find those, I think you can find the games. The first Women's Gold Cup, right? USA versus Mexico. And if you can get the whole game to watch, if you guys can watch the whole game, and you can come back and say, Mr. Miller, you were talking some real truth. Bro, them all play them in their own country. When you can silence the USA in their own country, that's something, yo. Because that female program, yo, is no joke. Anybody know that? USA female program is no joke.
No, it's not. It's not.
For real. They
Yeah,
have
I think
consistent at every levels.
this is why I'm saying that unless and it's a shame that Busby now much of the questions now being put to his feet. Obviously, it's because he's the new head coach, but unless he starts to change the way his approach to things, he's gonna find himself in a lot of uncomfortable conversation because we cannot just accept. And I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but we can't accept these one fixtures every other international window. It has to be maximum games at all times because we're already playing catch up. We're already playing catch up, and just like what Mr. Lee has said, there's teams around us that's taking leaps of strides. So we've got our work cut out for us. I still want to say that I'm still confident that we will qualify, but it's probably like cautiously optimistic with everything.
Yeah.
And we not
Yeah,
take the
man.
saying while
Right.
I don't remember exactly while they slept, the companion was up toiling through the night. We don't want that to reach us. We better be the one toiling through the night, not the one that's sleeping. Because I don't know if anyone asks the coach this question. Because we as fans need to know what is his aim, what he want to achieve with this team going forward. We need to know. And if you don't have our goals set, that means him is like he's just going around in circles without any direction.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know qualifying start next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ladies. Guys, I'm sorry. If you guys see me going in the light and dark, I'm walking the dog. So I'm just going
Sorry.
in that now. Yeah, he just stick to me. I didn't want, I don't want any dog in my house. So my wife get a dog when I went away. And I come back and he stick for me. You know, we Jamaican don't like dog in the house. So he
Oh,
stick for me. I don't, he stick for me. I just, me alone. Everything is me. Me.
he likes you. That's good. You're his
Yeah, I
best
just me. No, he stick for me. You don't want nobody else and nothing to you. Just me. No matter what time
good
of night me come in, I
spirit
me.
there. If the dog likes you, you must have a good
I mean, no
spirit.
want. I tell him some don't want him in here whole part time. There's the one in this look for me. Rough. Yeah. There's some don't
I
want
guess
him in here. Mm. I
that
spend
man
money I
is
buy dog food all and something. The dog vet bill all and something there. Yeah, ain't lucky. Yeah. Yeah, man, Crystal, but I just hope for the best. We can just hope for the best, Mr. Beckford. But I would love for you guys to go and watch the games from the Gold Cup.
I'm
Look at
gonna watch.
how the dam work. Also, um, what you guys think about the league back home? The
Yes, I'm
state of
glad,
football back in the island,
glad you brought
the
that up.
female.
Got I've got about 4% on my thing, but I think I should be able to answer this because someone made a comment, but I think maybe they probably okay, let me not speak for them, but I don't know if they thought we were talking about the men's team. They said my concern is if the JFF going to let the coach pick the players he wants and not saving spots for players to get sold. That could probably apply for both the Reggae Girls and also the Reggae Boys. To be honest with you, I don't think the JFF are getting involved in that regard as it relates to the Reggae Girls, because the team speaks for itself in terms of the makeup of the team currently. But to answer Mr. Lee's question, the league is just not good enough. The league is not good enough. We have some players there. The argument is there that they are gifted. You know, you have some Buckley. I think anyone can see that she's a gifted player. You know, she reminds me a bit of a Jodie Brown, that caliber of player. But those type of leagues there is just not helping the girls to develop, because when they go up against at the international level, when they go up against girls their age in other countries, they're overexposed. So it's so you can see a maker scoring 5 goals in one match, but when they play for the national team, they're missing.
Yes.
The coaching is
I
a
could help to
problem.
answer that question for you real quick. No, they're not trying, because 99% of the girls that's playing for the national team, they're from overseas. So the
Yeah,
JFF is not going to try to sell any players. So I
nah,
think you're talking about the men's program. So yeah,
yeah,
on the
us,
ladies team, no.
the men's program.
The ladies program,
Uh,
no. Crystal,
well,
shame on you. Make sure you have 2 charger next time. You have a backup charger and a
No,
regular charger.
I deserve
Did
to
you
be.
Mr. Spencer send you a charger? Shame on her. Shame on the
You
rules. Now I have no
know,
backup charger.
I deserve to be. Whilst you guys were talking, the reason why I was I think I'm getting a feedback. The reason why I was quiet is because I've been trying to fix it. Now I think I might have fixed it. So you see this bit? This bit was attached to this bit. So I think I've managed to disconnect it. It was attached to this bit. Now I am scared. I can reconnect it. I'll show you. I can reconnect it and then plug it into the wall. But I'm a bit scared to do it because I'm like, I don't want to mess with electric. So I'm going to do it like later on to make sure everything.
Okay. Yeah, man.
I think I might have fixed it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
but
You probably have 2% on your battery left, man. But it was a good show tonight, guys. Crystal, you need to get your phone up because everybody likes to do, so you can have your loyal fans can call you and express themselves, man.
I prefer the calling option, as in, are you saying that I now need to connect back my calling option? Because I got the phone right here, for YouTube, which I'm happy to connect to it. Or do you guys want to come on like you are now? What do
I
you
can
guys?
come on. I can come on. But you have some people, and everybody, if you do technology for come on. Sometimes I won't have all the time to come on. Sometimes you can just be a quick
Yeah,
call.
yeah. I mean,
what
I
you
put
mean WhatsApp calling?
yeah. I mean, I don't know how am I gonna get. You can drop your number in the private chat, Mr. Lee, and also, Mr. Beckford. I think I still have your number. I think I still have your number.
That
Let me
one
go.
changed.
So this is a private chat right here.
Yeah, we've got to test it out by saying maybe I'll put a hi in the private chat so you don't put your number somewhere else. So, let's see, Mr. Beckford. I think I still have. Let's see if you still have this number.
I just said
No,
something. Did you see that?
yeah,
Yes.
really.
Hi. Does your
Is that
number?
is that the private chat?
Yes, Mr. Lee.
All right.
Mr. Beckford,
Wait,
does your with
I mean,
97?
I'm in the wrong chat.
Okay, let me save your number, Mr. Lee, and then I'll send you a message on WhatsApp.
Where do I go and where I post a comment?
Do you see my number, Crystal?
I'm about to save it, and then I'm gonna send you a message. I'm gonna try finding you on my. I think I might have to do a +1. Do I have to do a +1? I think I might
For
have to do
me,
a.
I'm not sure for me, but for you, I have to do a whole bunch of plus plus zero zero.
Don't worry, I am about to see if I
Yes,
can
I
find.
said do a +1. Yes, yeah,
If
yeah, for you, yeah,
I
yeah, do
can
a +1.
find. Why
Or
can't?
for you, it should probably come up automatically if you try to dial the America. It come up automatically.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a message on WhatsApp.
Okay.
You should have received a number from me now, a message from me.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so that's my number. You can just reach me on that.
All right, cool.
So if you don't want to phone in, that just means I have to get myself my connecting device ready
Yeah,
next time.
because I know
Yeah.
I remember Army used to have that before you take a break. You
I
used to have
did,
to
and then
call in.
people stopped calling me, and then what had happened was people stopped calling me, and my mobile provider changed my number and gave it to someone else. So a friend of
Wow.
mine messaged me, and she's like, "Who's this white guy as your display picture?" I was like, "White guy?" Yeah, she's like, "You got a white guy as your display picture?" I was like, "What?" And I went over and I just had this random white guy as my display picture, and I phoned up my mobile company, and they're like, "Yeah, we gave your number to someone else by accident." So
Wow. By
yeah,
accident.
yeah,
Wow.
because I was getting like random messages from this family, and it's a white family, and I'm like, who are these guys that keep messaging me? And now in hindsight, they thought I was someone close to them, so that was very
This,
weird.
this company should stop do those things. So it's scary.
Yeah, it is. I definitely have your numbers in my phone now. Let me message you. I'm gonna say
No,
hello.
that
It's
number change.
No, I'd have this same number. I can show it to you. Yeah, that's what remember I said does your number end in 97?
Oh,
I'm gonna
I
mess
did press exit for accidentally and then end up left. Didn't hear that
act-
part.
no, it's okay. Cause I definitely have your number still saved in my phone. So I'll just message both of you on WhatsApp. So if you guys wanna message me, even if I'm like off air, yeah, happy to like feel free to just drop me a message. No problem. So yeah, we can I can work with that. I've definitely enjoyed the call-in shows again. I don't know why I didn't think of doing it instantly after I returned. Don't know why, but just it slipped my mind. But yeah,
Yeah,
we're
man. You
back.
come in and you make the audience them know first. You got to talk first. You got to get 20 minutes or half an hour talk, and then the
Yeah,
lines will be open at certain time. Because you have some people just want calling right away. No, let the host put out the topic first. You know,
yeah.
get what off of your chest first, and then the line start to ring. You know.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna I think the only time I probably won't do a call-in shows is like if I have like an interview because I
Mhm.
don't know who to call in and
No,
say
that's
what and
definitely different. But let me ask you this now:
Mm.
can you have people on the show and the lines are still available, right? The
Yeah,
lines are
'cause
still open. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. You know what I mean? Most of these guys do it. You have a few panel. A few people on the panel and people
yeah.
calling in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. One of the thing is it just never dawned on me. No one asked to come on the show, so I just assumed no one wants to come on the show. So, but randomly I just decided to drop the link in the comment section some nights ago and the lads came on and I was just like, oh, maybe I should have done this all along, you know?
Yeah, people want to engage, man. Me see all the virgin come on the other day, man. You know me, your Gunner's boss. But I was at
Got
work. We said, damn, the found Gunner's boss. And all him face him short. I said, damn.
that was my first time seeing his
Yeah,
face.
the first time we see him, look, everybody else is Gunner's boss, man. Everybody war, you know.
Goodness, yeah, he's always up to some little mischief, you know?
Yeah. All right, folks. It was nice talking to you guys. I know Krista probably have 2% left. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
put this dog up and have a show and go lay next to my lovely wife. See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, so enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay.
All right, yeah, man. Look more.
Thanks for stopping by and so first.
Yeah, man. All right. Good night, guys.
Definitely. Good night. I lost
Alright.
my number for 9 years and I got sick and they gave my number. I track it down and the lady said a lot of people call the number, but she likes it, so she's keeping it. I got so upset with I said, no, I want my number back. A lot of people been
Sorry.
trying to get through to me and they can't. And the person was just like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't give you the number. That now belongs to someone else. I was like, well, call the guy and take the number off him because it belonged to me before. They were like, we can't do that.
Ah, this thing, but it happened so much time to so many people. I mean, you know,
I try to
I
be.
wonder sometimes number is not short for them to doing it.
I don't know why they did it, but somehow I mean, even recently, maybe some 2, 3 weeks ago, I changed my number again. I'm hoping I don't have to change it again. But if I do, you guys will definitely be the first to get my number. So yeah, it's
But
very
it seems like
frustrating.
they target.
I don't know what it is, but I've literally maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago or more, I just had to change my number again. I was like, okay, another number has to be changed. But like Mr. Lee said, I'll leave the lines open both on the phone, and also it just means I have to go for some old device which I've not used. I haven't used this much. This is the device that I was telling Mr. Lee about, which means I have to go and find my cords. So this is how I connect my phone. I have to go and you see that it's taped up? Can you see? The box is taped up because I haven't used it in a while. Can see guys see? Show you guys that it's actually been taped up.
Brand new.
See?
To back in the box, it's brand new.
I always keep my stuff in the box because they cost money. And, so yeah, I haven't used this in well over a year. As you can see, everything I need this to connect my phone calls basically. So I will have to open this. Yeah, that's how I connect my phone calls. And you guys very kindly helped me to buy these things, so I have to make use of it. Even though it was a gift, you guys helped me to pay for it. I have to take care of it because this is you guys' hard working money. So I can't just treat it like it's nothing. So I take care of my stuff, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just find my connection cable and get this connected for the next live stream. So we're up and running where the mobile phone line is concerned. And yeah, just go from there.
Great.
Yeah,
So much.
I'll have to just do that. But I mean, I think this has been one of my longest live streams outside of a watch along. It's been over 3 hours and 33 minutes. We've covered a lot. Mr. Busby, please, sir, I am begging you to stand by the girls. Stand by the girls. Don't try to be sneaky in the next press conference, Mr. Busby, because we're now on to you. We're now watching you like a hawk. So don't try to come up slick. We're watching you, Mr. Busby.
I think sometimes I wonder if he's following your channel as well. You must be.
I don't think he does, to be honest with you. Maybe people that he knows probably tune into it, but I don't think Busby watch my channel. Definitely not. But yeah, I think people probably tell him XYZ, but they don't watch my channel.
So must be. You need to check out this channel. Whether you don't like it or not in your free time. Because you have a lot. I know you're probably running away from the comment section and you're probably running away from the question. You already have the press conference to answer the question, so I
He's
guess
probably running away, but you can only run. You can't hide. You can only run for so long as well. You can't hide. So sooner or later, he has to just answer those questions. And
yeah.
it's funny because they tried to be smart, but they got caught. Someone else that doesn't even belong to Jamaica. That lady don't sound like she belongs to Jamaica Press in that
Of today's performance.
lady's press conference. She don't sound like she belonged to Jamaica media, and she clocked what was going on. She asked about the captain's armband. So you
Yeah,
tried.
can you
He ran
you're
right into.
gonna and it's gonna be where in Jamaica for the South Africa match. I can I can imagine.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be about, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I am now on this actually served me quite long. I'm on 1%, so I'm gonna have to love you and leave you guys before my battery dies completely. Mr. Beckford, thank you for jumping on the stream. Also, Mr. Lee, thank you so much for blessing me with your time. Guys, in the comment section, I have to wrap this one up because my battery is about to die. I will catch up with you guys again. Sorry, I'm about to end it abruptly. I just don't want it to die on me. So yeah, Mr. Beckford, feel free to message me, okay? Guys, to continue to subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button, and you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.